The Knox. Macho Libre is looking for a fight. ECW died because of your damn ego, Vince McMahon.
You urinated on all of professional wrestling.
I broke my neck. I broke my back. I met my wife. I have my kids because of ECW.
Join me in the Palace of Wisdom.
This is extreme.
I should also note that Nails came over for the ECW show. Nails, what possessed you?
What possessed me?
Why did you come
I'm
over?
not sure. You know, I think it was, I had spent so many nights on my computer for homework or the website or whatever work I was doing on that I just needed to go somewhere else and watch something shitty.
You just had to get out of the house, basically.
Yes.
Well, I guess a fitting way to start this show with zombie. You know, we watched this show late at night on Tuesday at 10 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, which was 1 o'clock. All you fuckers had already seen the show, and huge threads. I got phone calls. Men called me and said, "Don't watch the show tonight, it sucks." I got emails. I noticed a 84-page thread on the board. And the show started. Out came the zombie. Vince has never laughed like this in his life.
No, I could not maintain sitting up on the couch. I had to retire to the floor so I could properly roll back and forth and slap the ground.
You were on the floor.
Well, let's start. He came out. First of all, there was scary music, and the zombie came out. And for those of you who did not see the zombie, he didn't do that yet.
Yeah, we thought it was awesome up to there.
Yeah. He came out. He was dressed like a zombie in tattered clothes, covered in dirt. Shoot dirt, actual soil, not like dust, dirt. And he had kind of a mullet and a flannel and jeans, and he held his arms straight out in front of him and walked without bending his knees, and scary music was playing, and they introduced him as the zombie, and I was already chuckling. And he climbed into the ring, and he advanced toward the announcer, and he grabbed the microphone, and I said, "Oh, great, he's going to cut an undead promo." And then he said... That's where I lost it. That's where I could take no more.
That was the greatest thing ever.
I was... And I've thought about this long and hard over the past couple of days. Cause
that distresses me.
Oh, no, I can't stop thinking about the zombie. Two details here. One, I think, would have made it even funnier, and the other, I'm not sure. First of all, he should not have been the zombie. He should have been a zombie. One of millions of undead... a horde ready to advance and take over ECW. There should be an unlimited number of zombies running around.
I cannot believe how hard you've thought about this.
He should have been a zombie. And two, and this I'm iffy on, I may be mistaken here, but this zombie, as we would learn, he was very loquacious. He was very verbose. He said, "Ugh, about 17 times. And that's part of the humor, was that he would not shut up. He just kept moaning. But then I kind of think it would have been funnier if he had taken the microphone and gone, ugh.
He did a much better job than you.
And then just calmly handed the microphone back, and he just had that one thing to say. Regardless, this was beautiful. This was my favorite segment of the entire year, and I think I said to Tony it was the greatest moment of my life.
So Sandman came out and just beat the living hell out of the zombie.
I was totally down with that.
I was afraid for him because he was really getting them pretty good with that shit.
He was killed. There was one shot in particular where he hit the zombie right in the face, and I thought...
he actually checked his face after he did it.
Oh, yeah, and he was holding his face the rest of the night. So the zombie got fucked up by the Sandman.
Sucks to be the zombie.
The zombie and the Sandman.
Well, has the Sandman fucked up a lot of people?
Oh, God, yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I figured.
He's also been fucked up several times, to be fair.
Sure. By the way, Nails, I think I fixed the feedback issue, but we're on with the show. So anyway, yeah, they had the deal with the zombie, and I thought that was fine. Oh, okay, I have no problem with this. So then the next match was Kurt Angle destroying Justin Credible. Just killing the fuck out of this poor guy.
That headbutt.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Credible got a comeback. And when I say comeback, I mean he hit one move of some kind. And he started getting up in Kurt's face, and so Kurt just hauled back and nailed him in the bridge of the nose with his forehead, and it was...
Yes,
this thing of beauty.
This was a beautiful match, and there were complaints that Credible was a former ECW champion. I gave the whole spiel in the newsletter. It don't matter. Justin Credible is drawing no money these days, and maybe it would have been best if they had not mentioned he was a former ECW champion. But this is a new ECW, and Justin Credible,
he's a dork.
He got about what he should have gotten here.
No,
I mean, he's been off TV forever. This was not a major deal. It was fine.
Everyone watching this, well, actually a lot of people watching it, that may even not be accurate, but a lot of people watching it said, hey, it's the guy who used to team with X-Pac.
Yes. So this was fine. And again, I was thinking, there's nothing wrong with this show so far. I mean, there are little things here and there, but... You can argue about the size of the building and everything like that, but, I'm looking at the writing, that sort of thing. So.
You did skip the opener, which was just a Raw angle on ECW.
That's right. I'd pretty much forgotten that, but that's...
I don't have a problem...
It's not ECW. That's the key everybody has to understand. And in order to get this show off the ground, you need John Cena and Edge... And you need Raw stars, or this fucking show ain't gonna fly.
Yeah.
This will be Impact. So
this will be Sub-Velocity.
No, I think it'd still be Impact because there'd at least be names on there, and they're promoting it. They
are promoting it. No one knew about Velocity. That's true.
But this is what they need. They got a 2-8 because Raw was all about which Raw guys are going to show up on ECW.
Yes.
They didn't get a 2-8 just because this was fucking ECW Reborn.
No one.
This was because they promoted the hell out of it and said Cena and Edge and some Raw guys were going to be there. It was a combination of factors, and they needed that. So I had no problem with that opening angle. And by the way, for those of you that read my thread on the board as I was doing live play-by-play sort of, that was as legit as it gets. I was initially so excited, and I was so happy for the zombie and everything like that, and then the show fell off a cliff. First they had the woman who may be even more boring than Michelle McCool, if that's even possible, come out and attempt to strip and fail.
Fail miserably.
That was the saddest thing I have seen in a while. Why don't they just get a stripper to strip?
Yeah, they could not find they had to get a worked stripper.
Yes, they got a work stripper who couldn't take her own bra off.
She had clearly never stripped or perhaps even danced before.
No. So,
she was hot, but...
That's exactly what I was going to say. She was hot, but you know what? The show's an hour long.
There's a million hot chicks out there.
And so I give that a thumbs down, I'm afraid to say. Well, thumbs in the middle.
I was going to say, there's worse things I could watch. I just have no idea what the point was.
I mean, it's so non-extreme.
Oh, it's very non-extreme.
She couldn't get her bra off, and that was a little distressing.
Nails, you didn't watch a lot of ECW back in the day, but the idea was it was extreme. Was there anything extreme about this stripping routine?
No. Wrong channel. Probably needs to be on pay-per-view for adults.
Yeah, and even the pay-per-view, you'd have seen the exact same damn thing. So, anyway, then we had this Battle Royal. It was a gimmick Battle Royal. Weapons were allowed. There was just shit all over the outside of the ring. And since it was a Battle Royal, you could go between the middle rope or the bottom rope and go outside and get stuff. And then everybody kept bringing it back into the ring and hitting each other with it, and if you went over the top, you lost. And I thought, why don't you just go out there and get a gimmick in a garbage can or something and just stay out there till no one's left? Nobody was getting counted out. Nope. It was like, you fucking stupid bastards are going out there, getting shit, and then getting back in the ring just so you can get thrown over the top. They were hitting each other with just these extreme pie pans and shit like that. This was the worst. The worst. It was so bad. This more than anything else just I just turned on the show at this point. I couldn't handle it.
I did not hate it as much as you did.
I hated it.
But that's about the best I could say. It wasn't a further example of them. ECW basically at this point has 4 stars. And they are Big Show, Kurt Angle, RVD, and Sabu. And I understand that Stevie Richards and Tony Mamaluke are not going to be the big stars. But when you don't even give them an entrance, you may as well have fans in the ring. You're telling people, do not care about these men.
Yes, this was an all thumbs down segment. They put over Big Show as a monster, but of course
Big Show eliminated everyone except Sabu.
He got eliminated by the other monster. I can't even believe this man has a job. Big Guido, whatever. He's been under contract for months and months now. He's finally on TV, and wow, he is horrible.
He's a big, ugly man.
He is a big, ugly man. So Sabu won, so it's Sabu and John Cena at the pay-per-view again.
Oh, by the way, yeah, there was, after the opening Raw angle, Heyman was angry and he gave a speech. And, he talked about invading Raw again, which all I could think was, haven't we seen that for a month now?
Yeah.
And number 2, the winner of this Battle Royal would challenge Cena at Vengeance. So Paul Heyman, ECW GM, I guess, is now making matches for the Raw pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I got a quick stupid question.
Sure.
More
Not stupid.
of a history question.
All right.
But back in the day when I was sleeping on the couch.
Sure.
And Hall and Nash, what was their original characters? Ramon and...
Ramon and Diesel.
They both left WWF.
Yes.
And went to WCW, and they created an invasion angle.
Yeah.
And are we trying to recreate this about 6 different ways in the last 6 years?
Well,
is that what I keep seeing and hearing you guys talk about?
The answer to the question is definitely yes.
Because they're never going to recapture that, because then everybody, even some people, seem to think that it was legitimate.
Yes. Here's the deal. WCW went out of business because they did a lot of stupid things. But one thing they did right, at least early on, was an invasion angle. They had these guys, supposedly from another company, come in. They were from another company. They just couldn't use the name. They came in. They ran roughshod over everybody.
They were somewhat nameless for a while, correct?
They didn't have names. That's right, for a long time.
They were just the big guy and the medium-sized guy.
They eventually got names, that sort of thing. But the point is, it worked. And the downfall was, WCW never actually won in the war.
Yes.
They just kept losing forever until they went out of business. But the point is, WCW at least did this right. Vince McMahon has never done this right.
And he's tried several times.
And
I'm just wondering, they did it once. I mean, how many times is everybody going to fall for it? Well, not really fall for it, but how many times is it acceptable? I guess.
Well, the answer to the question is, when something works in wrestling, it gets repeated for 50 years, whether it ever works again or not.
We're going to beat it to death.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you followed wrestling, there's still Montreal. Shawn Michaels or Vince McMahon screwed Bret Hart in Montreal, and we've been hearing about it now for almost 10 years.
Almost a decade.
And coincidentally,
a third of my life.
A year and a half in advance, they made sure to book the 10th anniversary of that Survivor Series in Montreal, because they'll never fucking forget it. It'll just go on forever. So that's the answer to your question, dude.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, by the way, what did you think of the first ECW show?
The first, the one we're just talking about?
That's right.
It was. I thought it was great up until because I liked watching Angle squash that guy.
That was beautiful.
Up until the Royal Rumble, I thought it just sucked.
I thought,
or whatever it's called.
I have to give the show as a whole a thumbs up just because of the zombie. And,
well, yes.
I mean, I seriously, I was driving home and I was laughing so hard I had to pull over and get it out of my system. But
hell is that?
Awesome.
Whose idea was this?
Okay.
I like how Joey Styles adds laughable.
Yes. Okay. Number one, I'll never be able to hear the Cranberries again. Not thinking about the zombie. But getting off track of the zombie for a while.
You won't be able to.
No, yeah. I don't really want to. I'm trying to be sort of somewhat professional, but a lot of the people who did not like the show, and that was most people, their big complaint was it wasn't the old ECW. And we've talked about how that's not important and it's not going to be and it shouldn't be. But there are two complaints I saw that just stuck out with me, and I don't really know why. One of them was someone said that every ECW show should start with Joey Styles in the middle of the ring. And I thought, dude, in 2006, no one gives an F. No one turned the channel because Joey Styles is not in the middle of the ring, so that didn't matter. Number two, and this actually amused me much more, people who are saying that they need to get out of the SmackDown arenas and into the smaller buildings because ECW just looks wrong with this many fans. ECW should not be this successful, damn it. It should be small and hanging on by a thread.
Yes.
Wait a second, didn't they die?
They did, in fact, die.
Well, Scott Williams made that point. He wrote the book about the death of ECW, the hardcore history, and he pretty much said if they try and run it like the old ECW, that one died.
Yes.
It was not a success in any way. So it was an artistic success, is what it was. It was something that a lot of people liked.
The original run.
Yeah, that made no money and went out of business. It was a starving artist.
Which a lot of artists have been like that.
And now the idea is this is not supposed to lose money. This is supposed to make a lot of money for the company. And thus things are going to be very, very... Just kids, all you got to do is pretend it's called... OVW.
VCW.
VCW.
Vince Championship Wrestling.
Vince Championship Wrestling or something like that.
Which would make zillions, by the way.
Anyway, I'll watch again next week because I have to. After the zombie, I think I just watch the damn show again. Anyway.
I'm going to watch it. If I was going to the SmackDown show next week, I would bring a zombie sign.
Oh, you'll see them.
Oh.
You don't know how
I may dress up like the zombie.
The zombie has gotten over to an incredible degree. It's all over YouTube. This is spreading.
And by the way, I don't want the zombie to do anything different. I want him to come out, make his entrance. Yes, he may eventually learn the word brains. I'd accept that. But I want him to come out to his music, cut his promo, and then an ECW guy will come out and kill him. It could even be the Sandman every week. I'm fine with that.
Just a different... That'd be fine, actually.
Sandman or Balls or whatever. I don't care. I just want the zombie.
Sure.
I'll watch for that.
We've got Nails here, the man responsible, really, for F4WOnline.com. Nails, what's up?
Not much.
I want to get Vince on the line here. Hold on one second. Vince is currently at work right now.
At work?
He's been at work all day, so I alerted him we'd be calling.
Hello?
Vince?
Vinny?
It's me.
What's up, dude?
The usual.
We are calling you. We know you're at work. First off, what the hell happened? Why are you still at work?
Well, first of all, because I was here late last night, I came in late today. I got here about 1.
Oops.
So I've only been here for about 8.5 hours. That's the good news. The bad news is I'll probably be here till midnight. And, yeah.
Well, we got some wrestling to watch tonight.
Who's we?
That was a horrible joke.
That's a bad one.
I'm sorry. But, and this all really stems from Monday when you went to Raw, and as a result, you didn't go to work that day.
I did. Of course, it was also Memorial Day, so getting a day off work was easy in that sense, but I'm paying for it now.
That'll teach you a lesson.
It will. Never work holidays, kids.
You sound horrible, too. Are you sick?
No, that was just a momentary ailment that has since passed on. But yes, I had work to do, and I...
What?
I chose to play instead of doing work, and now I am making up for it, so...
One of the defining moments, I believe, of F4WOnline.com of the Empire was when the Iron Sheik was discovered. I think everybody remembers where they were when they first heard of the Iron Sheik.
I like you say discovered as if he was unearthed at an archaeological dig.
He may have been for that interview, in fact. The Iron Sheik has become a part of F4W culture, and I don't think he'll ever go away. There are some people that are sick of the Iron Sheik. For those of you, I'm sorry with what I'm going to announce right now.
I will never be sick of it.
I am not going to announce that the Iron Sheik is going to be on the show. He may be at some point, but he may not.
Is that a difficult get?
Well, I'm going to explain it right now.
Okay, go ahead.
As some of you are aware, if you read the front page of the site today, the Iron Sheik was scheduled for In Your Head Radio tonight. The Iron Sheik did, in fact, appear on In Your Head.
Well, he made it.
The entire Iron Sheik interview was less than 5 minutes. And you are about to hear why. It's new Iron Sheik, kids.
All right, we're back, and we are joined by the Iron Sheik. Welcome to the show.
Well, I'm very pleasure for me, Mr. Jack, to invite me to your show. You are a very intelligent man in the Boston, Massachusetts, to call the legend and the first Middle Eastern come to the America. I come Trump with 3 times WWF single tag team battle royal, and also I used to come to the Boston Garden all days. All my Italian, Irish, English, all of my cousins in the Boston know about me. But also, I had a bad luck last year in the Boston because that jabroni promoter, his name is Dan Maloney Federation Wrestling, the legend, to the Boston, Jack, and he come pick me up in the airport, and he didn't get room for me, and he didn't put me in the hotel. 90 degrees in last summer, Mr. Jack, and his name is Dan Maloney Federation Wrestling. Put me 90 degrees in the car, Jack. Take me to them. It's supposed to take me to the church in the Blackstone, Massachusetts. From Boston, Mr. Jack, to the Blackstone is only a couple hours drive. So that jabroni promoter Dan Maloney, and 55 years Jewish Englishman, Dr. Johnson, he was a driver, and promoter was on the passenger side. They take me to their car. I was a back seat. They go in the Applebee. They eat their lunch. They didn't even invite me for lunch, and they didn't even give my pay. And then Dr. Johnson, driver, and Dan Maloney, and they go eat Applebee. They didn't invite me, and then I go in the Applebee by myself, and the restaurant man, God bless him, he didn't even charge me. Anyway, Mr. Jack, I want to make the long story short. I had a great time, many years in the Boston Garden, and a new building. But last year I get a car accident. I hurt my knee, and I can't, because we went to the Blackstone, Massachusetts, in the church, and my friend, Mr. Oxpecker, was over there. Oh. And I've been, yes, sir. I've been in the church, and I met a lot of church people happy, Mr. Jack. And our low-life promoter, Mr. Dan Maloney, and Dr. Johnson, and I have to go to bring the all musician, put in the car. Anyway, they keep me to the 1 o'clock in the morning that day, and then they take me to the Boston to take me to the hotel. Swear to Jesus, we didn't make it to the Boston. And we come half famous, Jack, and that young man had the Dr. Johnson car, and the young man was a drunk, and he lost his both leg. He was 22 years old, and then I get a damage. Police department, sheriff department, fire department, Boston people, God bless him. All my wrestling friends, they come save me, take me to the hospital, and I didn't even make it to the hotel. I want to let you know, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Jack, and my lawyer called me from Boston, God bless him, right. And I want to sue the Dan Maloney Federation and Dr. Johnson because they didn't take care of the legend good.
Yeah. I know there was a lot of rumors about that on the internet. They were saying like you were holding someone hostage. Was that just all made up by the promoter?
I'm sorry, Mr. Jack. Say it again one more time, please.
I remember when that all happened, and there was a lot of rumors like on the internet that they were saying that you were holding someone hostage in a car. And
No. Don't be no. Just a minute. Don't be fucking committee. I am United States of America resident, and I'm United States of America 3 times AAU. I'm not fucking Saddam Hussein. I'm not fucking Osama bin Laden. And I'm not fucking Adolf Hitler. I'm not Tuesday naked. I'm 7 times champion. Arnold is a 7-time champion. Don't fucking tell me. I'll keep the people in the hostage. I'm all America. Gold medal. If you want to talk to me, I talk to you. Otherwise, take a fucking vote.
Oh, I believe you, man. It was just that was what somebody said about you on the internet, but I didn't believe it. Did you hang up on us?
I believe you did.
That was great.
Oh, okay. I guess that concludes the show for the evening. That was a interesting edition of In Your Head.
Take call back. I want to go break quick.
Okay.
I'll tell. Apologize. I was asked him to.
That's the whole show.
That
5 minutes long.
That is so awesome.
You know what I was going to say? The first part there, I think, if you were to some reason transcribe that, you would use about 47,000 commas and no periods.
Yeah, if I hadn't heard the Dan Maloney interview on F4W, I would not have been able to follow that whatsoever.
That may have been the most freaked out I've ever heard the Iron Sheik.
Oh, man.
That was a flip out.
He thought he was being accused of terrorism.
Yeah, that was
he
what
thought he was
asking,
being
but-
accused of being a terrorist, and he hung up after he threatened to break his back.
Not down with that.
Wow. So, Vinny, I thought you'd appreciate that. I didn't know if you'd be able to hear it or not, but...
I heard it, I think, fine. There was, Sheik's not the most articulate guy anyway.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, as good as you can hear Sheik.
Yes.
Yeah. But I got the point that he's Dan Maloney's a jabroni.
The Maloney Wrestling Federation.
Maloney Wrestling Federation.
And
There was some sort of car accident.
He's not Osama bin Laden.
He went to Boston Garden many times and pleased the English and Irish and Italian fans.
That's right.
I was aware there was a lot of Englishmen in Boston, by the way. But
Well, yes, there are,
Although it wasn't his...
He might have actually been wrestling in 1680. That's a possibility.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, that was the new Iron Sheik. I thought everybody should hear that tonight, so he flipped out.
Brian, I don't know if this means anything to you, but you now have my permission to cease trying to get him on the show.
I think at some point down the road it's inevitable he'll be on.
Would you be afraid to be on the other line from him?
Oh, God, yes.
Really?
Even through a phone, huh?
I was thinking you could come over for it and we could both be on the line.
No, I don't like confrontation.
Not even over the phone?
No, that's not my bag.
Shut up, Jeff!
That's a good start to the show right there. Angry Scott Steiner.
I think that's my new favorite drop.
Shut up, Jeff!
He's full of anger and vitriol.
That's what makes him Scott.
Shut up, Jeff!
I wish we had one where he said, "Shut up, Vince." Sort of thing we need whenever...
Really, that should just be his new job. It's just he should yell...
I don't have a problem with beating you up!
That man is a star of Impact.
That man is the star of TNA.
He really is.
I don't have a problem with beating you up!
Let's get Nails on the line here.
That would never get old.
It won't. Hold on one second.
That was odd.
That was off the air, but thanks for making a comment when we came back on.
Hello.
Nails.
Yep.
What's up?
I'm watching a murder movie.
I like the long pause there as you decided if you were going to answer the
I
question.
think he's about to hang up on us.
Yeah. What's up with you?
Hey, I'm not sure.
I want Vince to know that I did you a favor today, Vince.
Really?
I IM'd Nails about the program tonight, and I said, we'll probably call you around 11:15. And he IM'd back saying, well, what about midnight? And I said, I don't think Vince is going to want to sit around for 45 minutes waiting for you to be ready here.
I'm afraid that's true.
I stuck up for you, Vince.
High five.
No.
All right.
So, Nails, what movie are you watching? You watching, like, Murder, She Wrote or something?
American Psycho 2, I believe.
Well, that's exciting.
Murder, She Wrote would have been much funnier.
Well, Granny's probably watching that right now, actually.
It's Granny.
You know what we need? I'm going to send out a request. I've often sent out requests for drops, and people always help a brother out. I need some drops of Charles Crazy Horse Bennett doing some of his famous promos. Because we've got stuff here from Buddy, we've got stuff from Dana, we've got stuff from Great Khali, Ultimate Warrior, Boss Rutan, Jim Cornette now.
I just want to tell you what a fucking miserable fucking piece of shit you are, you goddamn no-good cocksucker.
What was that?
That was Jim Cornette being very, very upset.
This fucking fat motherfucker.
Yeah.
Is that from the Ring of Honor?
You fucking goose.
That's great.
Fuck you, you fucking goose.
That is a keeper. I can use...
Yeah.
I can use that, not just for wrestling shows, I can use that for every 800 times a day.
I don't think I've ever told
Driving to work, waiting in line at the grocery store.
I don't think I've ever said this on this show, but a long time ago I had this idea, this invention. It was a horn that did not honk. Instead, it screamed something. And I always wanted a horn where I'd be stuck in traffic and I'd hit the horn and you'd hear...
Fuck you, you fucking goose.
This is dying over here.
This fucking fat motherfucker.
He's talking about you right there.
I don't care.
What is that from?
It's just one of Cornette's wacky, probably some sort of shoot interview of some sort.
He's fucked me, or tried to fuck me. He's fucked friends of mine.
I don't know who he's referring to.
But one thing, he was sucking Vince Russo's cock all those goddamn years.
Wow.
Okay, whatever that's from, please send it to me. I will watch it immediately.
Vinny, you're the Cooper.
Right now, fine. I don't give a shit. Wow. Jim Cornette saying, fuck you, you fucking goose, will get me through many a day.
You fucking goose.
I need that, seriously, I need it.
Oh,
I don't know, an MP3 player. I need something where I can hit a button and it will make that noise. And I can play it at work, I can play it in traffic, I can play it at the store, I can play it when Bryan annoys me.
Fuck you, you fucking goose.
I can play it for my goddamn family.
Wow, you're a very bitter man.
I got a lot of people to tell fuck you to.
Wow.
I think I'm cute.
Yeah!
I don't know America. I got the moves. Let's make some all-tab out the angle slam. The ankle lock. Marty Jannetty. Sid, can't fuck, I'm just a sexy curve. I'll make your
God, what
ankle
happened to
hurt.
her?
I'm just a sexy curve. I'll make your ankle hurt. Ankle hurt! Woo! That's right, son, eat your heart out. Hands on the merchandise. Woo!
That was the best fucking feud, building up to the greatest fucking match there's ever been.
What does it mean when Kurt Angle did a better job singing than Sherry Martel?
It means Kurt's talented.
Good God, she sounded awful.
That's 100% true.
Romance is in the air at this hour as a tense police standoff unfolds outside the Third National Bank of New York.
What's happening?
Hostage negotiator Brett Vernon has promised desperate bank robbers, quote, everything your heart desires in exchange for the safe release of 9 hostages.
No. Just a minute. From the fucking committee. I am United States of America resident, and I'm United States of America 3 times AAU. I'm not fucking Saddam Hussein. I'm not fucking Osama bin Laden. And I'm not fucking Adolf Hitler. I'm not. She's there naked. I was 7 times champion. I'm the 7-time champion.
Release the hostages. Repeat, release the hostages. And all your dreams will come true.
Don't fucking tell me! I keep the people in the hostage! I'm all America! Gold medal! I will talk to you! I talk to you! Otherwise, take your fucking vote!
While some hope that the cold-hearted criminals will be worn down by Vernon's repeated assertion that they're the most beautiful bank robbers in the world, the thieves say they will kill one hostage every hour until they see a wedding ring. Doyle Redland for The Onion Radio News.
Well, that explains where that came from.
That was so odd.
I thought that might have been on CNN or something like that. Well, maybe you'll appreciate this more, Vince.
I've gotten the little girl outfit because I like dressing up like a little girl.
I count that as great news.
I did show you my panties.
That was a great moment.
Well, I just like doing everything. I'm very, very, open-minded.
Good for you.
I ended up in a little girl's outfit, and I got a spanking.
Yes.
What is that? Where did that come from?
Put him in a hold and tickle him.
But I'm not wearing a bra.
That's because you're an idiot.
Fuck me.
Aha, I win. Well, mark this down, 11:47, June 5th, 2006, the greatest moment of my life. I have never been so happy.
Wow.
That was awesome.
You're a nerd.
Christy.
Guerreros del Ring we watched. It was...
better than Raw.
I don't know about that. I didn't hate it as much as Raw, but there was a lot of bad wrestling on the show.
There was far more bad wrestling on Lucha this week.
But it was fun bad wrestling. The opener was Masada, Nitro, and Dr. Equis against Tigre, Metallico, Rey Tigre, and Tigre Blanco, which 15 minutes of this, it was me trying to figure out which fucking tiger was which. I finally figured out that the silver tiger was Tigre Metallico, the white tiger was Tigre Blanco, which left the horrible tiger to be
shitty tiger.
Rey Tigre. Masada was the only Asian, I figured that out, and Dr. Equis was the one with the giant Equis on his mask. So I pretty much figured everybody out after about 15 minutes, but my God, was Rey Tigre atrocious.
Rey Tigre was awful, but he was so far into awful, he was wildly entertaining. His reaction to everything was to pump both fists to his sides and go, "Bee!" When he hit a move, he went, "Bee!" And when they chopped him, he went, "Bee!" And they hit the ropes. They hit the ropes in front of him, and he went, "Bee!" And they hit him with a clothesline.
Enough out of you, goddammit.
That is all Rey Tigre did.
He sucked.
He sucked bad.
I want to let you know I can break his fucking back.
Certainly.
Suplex him, put him in the camel clutch, break his back, and then fuck his ass.
Bullshit.
You are fag, you are punk, little gay.
Fuck you!
Worse than Michael Jackson.
That cocksucker can rot in hell for all I care.
I break your back and I do all country way. Hug me, kiss me, say, "Cheeky baby."
Roll the camera.
That was the Iron Sheik versus Bela Lugosi.
That was awesome.
Here's Humbled, kids.
From Poder Inc., the people who brought you Warriors Queering Don't Make the World Work World Tour, comes the latest in self-help for the common man.
What's happening?
Sick of being cut off in traffic? The daily grind of life getting you down? Do women break your heart by not having the sex with you, even after you've shared your medicine with them? What's the answer to all of these questions?
But he's laughing
You
like
asked
an idiot.
me excellent question.
The Iron Sheik answers all of these questions with his new self-help program, Humbled, the Old Country Way. This program shows you how to solve all of life's problems in just 4 easy steps.
Suplex him, put him in the camel clutch, break his back, and then fuck his ass.
Bryan Alvarez of the F4W Empire says,
"My period's all weird."
Vincent Verhey of some fishing magazine I've never heard of says,
"If the Undertaker's giving it to me and I'm 160-pound Sean Daivari, I don't want Undertaker to have to ask."
Don't just take their word for it. Official Podering spokesmodel and former WWE superstar Buddy Wayne says,
"The road will own you."
How much would you expect to pay for this complete life-altering package?
99 cents.
Oh, yes.
That's right. For just 695 easy payments of just 99 cents, you too can have the secrets to humbling people the old country way. Don't be humbled any old way.
Is there a secret to this?
Apparently there are.
The old country way. Call today. 555-248-62533. That's 555. Be humbled. Poder Inc. is not responsible for any loss of consortium, anal leakage, hurt feelings, or eternal damnation resulting from use of this product. For a full list of associated products and services, please visit www.vinnyisaGoober.com.
What was that address again? VINNYISAGoober.com.
I believe that marked the debut on the show of the terms anal leakage.
We did not actually need to hear that part, but...
Satchelass! Satchelass! Satchelass!
Thank God for Terry Funk.
What the
promo is so
hell
awesome.
was that?
Have you not seen the promo?
No.
It's a promo on ECW.com. He's talking about Mick Foley. All their good promos now on the website. They don't show them on TV anymore.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but yes, he
Satchelass! Satchelass! Satchelass!
The fuck?
He declares that he's no longer going to call Mick Foley's son. He says, I'm going to call him a new name. And he takes a while to think of the right words. And finally, he looks right into the camera and says,
Satchelass! Satchelass! Satchelass!
And then he tells a story about his dad telling him not to trust any man whose ass was wider than his shoulders.
That'd be you.
No.
You know what's funny is somebody just emailed that to me, and I just saw Terry Funk in a word. And I was like, does that say satchel ass? I didn't even play it.
Satchelass! Satchelass! Satchelass!
That's the best thing I've ever heard on this show.
Pretty great.
Wow. Satchelass.
Satchelass. Ass like a satchel.
I guess that's what it means. I was confused.
Satchelass! 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 Satchelass!
Don't ever call me Dad again, and I won't call you son. I'll come up with something appropriate like Satchelass. My daddy always told me don't ever trust a man whose ass is wider than his shoulders, and that seems to fit you, Foley.
Satchelass! Satchelass!
I love it with a passion. I usually do not download.
Shake your satchelass.
That's Terry Funk, kids.
Singing.
That's Terry Funk singing. I usually don't listen to these songs before I play them on the show, but this was being raved about, and I had to play it. Hold on, I gotta cut you off for just a second. Hold that.
I have no
thought.
problem with that.
You know, I often hear the comment about sometimes people claim there's a lack of analysis on this site, on the Figure 4 website.
I've heard that.
I've heard this before. Figure 4 Online is not about analysis. And they point to other websites that are all about analysis. To me, okay, you really need me to analyze the potential of Vito to be a star. I can tell you right now that it is an uphill battle to get Vito over. I give exactly as much analysis on this website as I feel is needed. And I feel any more analysis is an attempt to come off as smarter than you are. That's it. Okay. So I don't want to hear any bullshit about how there's no analysis on the site. I give as much analysis as humanly possible. I don't need to do analysis overkill, goddammit.
You give as much analysis as necessary.
Is necessary. Thank you. That's the first thing you said on this show, probably ever, that's been just
That's not true.
5 stars. That's right. I give exactly as much analysis as necessary. I need to fucking break down Vito and his dress. It's a stupid angle. They're trying to do something to get people talking. Somebody watched Sopranos and saw some dude named Vito that dresses in drag, and they're like, hey, we hate this fucking guy in the back. This'll be funny. Let's put him in a dress. And you know what? Let's give him a push for a little while, see what we can do with him. And you know what's going to happen? He ain't going to be any more over in 3 weeks than he was a week ago. This ain't going to work. There's your analysis. If you want more, fuck off.
That was amazing.
What were you going to say about this?
I don't know. Nothing that can top that, that's for sure.
Speaking of high gaiety, Hunter came out for his match with the Spirit Squad. Vince said no ref, which makes it awfully hard to have a gauntlet match. basically he just sent out men one at a time. Hunter beat up Mikey, and then they sent out Kenny, and he beat them both up. Then they sent them all out except for the fifth guy, and so it was 4-on-1 forever. Thing was, the idea was they would be whipping the fans into a frenzy waiting for Shawn to come back. Didn't quite work out that way. They all knew he was coming back, and they were bored waiting for it to happen.
Yes.
So they beat on him forever, and finally Vince is like, okay, fifth Spirit Squad guy, come on out. He came out on his ass.
He came flying out through the curtain, landed and sprawled in a heap.
Out walked Shawn Michaels in one of his wife's tank tops. He hit the ring. Him and Hunter went back-to-back, beat the hell out of all the Spirit Squad members, turned around, went forehead to forehead, began shaking and shimmying, and then gave a big double high five, at which point the place just exploded.
You have never seen a building go so happy to see two white men high five.
And then they gave a series of crotch chops, and the place pissed themselves. Hunter, to show that he is still a degenerate, mooned Vince McMahon. There's a thread on our board, was this the gayest moment in the WWE in the last 6 years? I cannot answer that question. It was up there. But the point is, it worked, kids. It worked.
The crowd was indeed happy to see this, and
they were very, very happy to see each other.
They were very, very happy to be close personal friends again.
You are fag, you are punk, little gay.
I hope we get an explanation. You know what? Here's what I would love to have. This is why I'm
a blow-up doll? It is your birthday.
I'm over that now. Yeah. This is what I would like to see.
I don't care you be Sophia Loren. I don't care you be the prettiest woman in the earth. I cannot sleep with you anymore. I cannot have sex with you anymore.
Sheik's laying down the law. Here's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see Shawn and Hunter come out next week. And I'd love for Shawn to explain that the reason that he waited until Hunter had been beat on sufficiently by 4 men, was because Hunter waited so long to make the save for him after his leg had been shattered. We need that promo. I demand answers.
Good luck with that.
Hunter waited until the fucking guy's leg was broke.
Yes.
And he finally ran out. And so Shawn here waited until Hunter had been beaten on for 10 minutes before he made the save for him. And then they were best pals again. They were all happy together. I was like, this is the most fucked up relationship.
Well,
now it's like a sadomasochistic gay relationship.
Yes.
God, people try and analyze our relationship. They should start trying to analyze this one. There's way more ammunition here.
That's entirely true.
I see everybody's in a fine mood tonight.
Anyone in this room who is not pissed off, raise your hand. Thank you, Brent.
Brent is here. We don't know how much time he's going to have on this show tonight, but he's here nonetheless.
I don't know how much time he's got left on this earth.
Vince, you were late today.
I was late today.
And at first, I was filled with anger. And then Brent showed up. And I was glad to see you.
I can imagine. I don't...
Think about that.
Yeah, being...
Normally, when you're an hour and a half late for a pay-per-view that I know we're going to have to recap, which means, of course, if we're going to talk about the pay-per-view for 45 minutes, that means you're useless for exactly 20 of those 45 minutes.
Yes.
Normally, that raises my ire.
Well, as it turns out, I was at a Father's Day activity, and I mentioned my sister at 7. She drove me out there. So it's not what you make, it's what you save. So I made her drive me out to DuPont tonight.
See, at least you're learning.
Yeah. And I said at 7, hey, we need to get going. She said, okay, 5 more minutes. And I said, okay. Well, we left at 8:05. So, yes, I left just late enough to piss you off.
Yeah.
And just early enough to piss off everyone else in my family. So it was a great compromise wherein everyone hates me.
What time did you all get there for this thing?
1.
That makes me actually hate your whole family. You got there at 1 o'clock for Father's Day festivities, and the fact that you left at 8 o'clock in the evening...
I was too early.
7 hours later.
Mm-hmm. And I said, how do you go? And she says, why are you always busy?
Listen, yeah. I'm all for Father's Day's festivities. I spent some time with my father today, about an hour. That was fine for both of us. and I'm not trying to push my lifestyle on you or anything like that, but 7 hours with your family and that's not enough.
I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about watching TNA either. I wanted to be at home today.
Oh my God.
This is.
I don't think you've got anything to add, Brent.
No.
I
spent Father's Day with my family.
I'll give him the mic for a second.
Don't touch it.
We gave you the mic so you'd speak, so how about you say something?
Well, I had a Father's Day dinner with my parents, my sister, my cousins, my grandfather. So basically, there were 3 fathers there. We got there about what was it 6? Yeah, I think it was 6. Yeah, 6 o'clock, and I didn't say anything about the pay-per-view. We ended about 8:05. My parents gave me a ride over here, and I got here at 8:30. We had a nice time.
I gave you the mic
for me.
I gave you the mic for that.
Yeah, Father's Day is good. It was good to spend the day with the family, and Vince spent 7 hours, and that's way too much.
Okay. At least you had a point to that big.
God, he somehow tied that in our conversation.
Oh, Jesus. We watched a TNA pay-per-view, and what is there to say about it? I guess I've got to sort of start this whole thing off. Actually, Vince watched the first match. So
I went back and I watched the first match and fast forward and a good portion of the second. Enough to see probably the greatest moment of the whole night. But
well, of what you have seen thus far, what would you say you would give this pay-per-view? A thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle?
From what I've seen, a mild thumbs down. Joe and Steiner was very good. Other than that, I was not terribly impressed by anything.
Well, it was I don't know. We'll get to the main event, and actually we might as well just jump right ahead of the main event right now, because that's the big news on the show. This was actually a newsworthy show, but I don't know what to make of the news yet. It was a King of the Mountain match, which is a match with very complicated rules. I could go over them here, but it's pointless, because
well, all you need to know is that throughout the main event, Brent was asking us why they were pinning each other, what the box was for.
Brent had
how do you win?
No idea what was going on, and
to be fair,
I'm not actually blaming you, Brent, for being an idiot.
No,
I'm saying that you're a casual fan, and tuning in, you had no idea what was going on, even as the match continued. There was rampant confusion in this house. And I should note that you probably had way more questions, but I just pretty much stopped listening to you.
We were making a deliberate point to avoid actually speaking to you. So it's not entirely your fault.
Every few minutes I would just hear you make comments, and I had long since blocked you out of my mind. But the whole deal was, to make a long story short, you had to hang the belt up. So they had this match that there was crowd brawling, there were wacky pinfalls, there was dives, dudes got in a penalty box and came out of it. Anyway, to make a long story short, it came down to Jeff Jarrett getting locked in the box. And once you're in the box, you got to be in there for 2 minutes. He came out with 23 seconds left. He was a cheater.
Yes.
This did not, however, immediately lead to the finish. Had he come out 23 seconds later, nothing would have changed. But let's just forget that part. So he came back into the match, and a bunch of malarkey ensued. It ended up with Jeff Jarrett on the mat, Christian and Sting on the ladder, brawling over the belt. They'd been working together earlier, mind you. Now they hated each other. They wanted to hang the belt up. And who should tip the ladder over but Earl Hebner? It is 2006, and Earl fucking Hebner is still screwing people. This angle will never end.
No, and it will never be entertaining again either.
So the ladder fell over, and both guys fell outside, and Jarrett grabbed the belt and started climbing the ladder. And suddenly, a water bottle flew through the air and hit him. And I thought, a fan just threw a water bottle at Jeff Jarrett. And then there was another water bottle, and another, and soon, if I did not know any better, I would think that there were 1,500 plants in the crowd that had all been given water bottles. The only thing I can think is, could that many people have actually got bottled water that night? It seemed a little contrived. But there was some vociferous hate. I don't think you could have convinced all these fans to grab water bottles and throw them at Jeff Jarrett when he won the belt. I think they just happened to give out a lot of water bottles and somebody figured this out.
Yeah, it may have been a hot day in Orlando.
Sure. But suffice to say, the ring was pelted with water bottles as Jeff Jarrett went up and grabbed the belt. He climbed down. Everybody there had been a chant, "We will riot," earlier in the evening.
Yes.
And there was a serious chance of a riot here.
Jeff Jarrett had the "I'm getting the fuck out of here right now" expression on his face as he climbed down the ladder.
He was beckoning to Earl Hebner to get the hell out of Dodge.
One of these bottles will be glass at some point.
Sure. So as he's running to the back, out comes another referee who grabbed the belt away from him and took it up the ramp and gave it to the new Director of Authority, James E. Cornette, who did a promo earlier in the night saying, "No more bullshit." So the show ended...
Almost his exact words.
Sure. The show ended with Cornette holding the belt in his hand, and Jeff Jarrett was on his knees begging, I guess, to...
Actually, he just screamed no, grabbed his head over and over again.
He was doing something. But here's the whole thing. I don't know what kind of heat this was yet. I don't know if this was great NWO-style heat early on, where this was actually money-drawing heat and people were throwing bottles and garbage, or if this was the, fuck this, we're done with this promotion heat. Because, really, someone spoiled this for me. I will not mention any names, but I got an IM and they said, "So how's the pay-per-view? What do you think of Jared as the new champ?" And I thought, well...
Fuck this guy.
I know that answer now. But the point was, when I heard that, all I thought was, why?
No one knows.
It's 2006. Why?
I don't know.
I do not have a good answer. And so I thought, this makes no sense. So I think, and another thing to think about is maybe this reaction will cause him to rethink this idea.
Well,
but I don't know if that'll be in a positive. Maybe the idea was, this could be one of many things. Perhaps the idea was they're going to put the belt on Jeff. And this reaction, once they saw this reaction, they're going to decide maybe that's not such a good idea. Or perhaps the idea was they were going to overturn the decision, but now that they saw this heat, they've decided it's money-drawing heat, and they're going to put the belt on him after all. There are many ways this could go, and I don't have the answer. I don't know what kind of heat it was. I really don't know anything. We see you beckoning, Brent. You're the only other person in the room. Just relax for a second.
My intuition here is that the idea is people will fear that Jarrett is the champion, and they're hoping people will tune in on Thursday to find out if that's true.
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking, could what happened change what they were going to do?
Well, stranger things have happened. We'll see. But I believe Mr. Kremen has something to say.
Where's Stanley Blackburn when you need him? I think he's 6 feet under, isn't he?
Thank you, Brent. I need a good drop for Brent right about now.
Fuck you, you fucking goose!
That will do.
Sadly, he cannot hear these drops.
That makes it better.
Brent, this is a drop of Jim Cornette saying, "You're a great man."
Fuck you, you fucking goose!
Perhaps you'll be able to hear this later on if you listen to this show. But that's pretty much the promo that Jim Cornette cut. He said,
"Fuck you, you fucking goose!"
He said he was not going to put up with any,
this fucking fat motherfucker.
And that sort of thing. That's really what he said.
It pretty much was. He was unhappy about a lot of things, and he was...
You're a goddamn idiot! You're a fucking moron!
That actually may have been in there at some point.
I keep thinking of Brent when I hit these drops.
I don't know why that is. But play the last one again.
I tell you what a fucking miserable fucking piece of shit you are, you goddamn no-good cocksucker.
What was that, Brent?
He did. Play not the last one, the one right before that.
I think that would have been this one.
You're a goddamn idiot.
That's
You're a fucking moron.
That's the one. That's the one we're thinking of Brent.
It's not fair that we should play this and not have Brent listen. So, why don't you give Brent your headset, and I will play him this drop here. No, you just put the damn things on and shut the fuck up.
No one gives a shit about Stanley Blackburn, Brent.
Bullshit! There you go. What do you think of that?
I just heard bullshit.
Yeah, okay, give him back to Vince. Bullshit! That's right. Put those back on there, Vince.
Fuck you, you fucking goose!
Okay, everything is clear now. Everyone is on the level. Everyone knows what's going on and what's being said about them.
Okay, good. Now that we've got that handled. So anyway, that was Cornette's promo. The thing about the Cornette promo was, it was a promo where I thought, if this were true, this would be great.
Yes.
But instead, it's just all an angle.
He's just a character.
He's not going to kick people out. He's not going to do this, that, and the other thing. He does not have the book.
No.
Unfortunately.
The one...
In fact, the proof that he does not have the book was when he came out and he was putting over the AMW versus AJ Styles and Chris Daniels tag match. In 1,000 years, Cornette would have never booked all that bullshit.
No.
In 1,000 fucking years.
Yeah.
That was pretty much your proof right there.
It was a great promo, obviously, because it's Jim Cornette, and that's all he does is great promos. And the only other really key point worth mentioning is when he talked about the key people in TNA, and it was AJ and Daniels and Joe and other people who are not WWE and WCW runoffs. It was new people, so that's good.
What you doing over there, Brent?
Picking lint out of my pocket. Picking lint out of your pocket.
And where are you putting a lint? Okay. I was making sure you weren't putting it on my floor, because I would have killed you.
Well, I knew that's why I picked it up. You're a goddamn idiot! You're a fucking moron!
So then we had, I think we're going to go backwards today.
Let's just do the whole show backwards. Why not?
We're going to do the whole show.
Something new just to entertain ourselves.
We're going to do something wacky here today. What are you talking about?
I just said it now for something completely different.
Yes, indeed.
We know what's a Monty Python reference, Brent.
Shut up, Jeff!
Speaking of, Scott Steiner faced Samoa Joe. Everybody knew what this match was. It was a match with awesome promos building up to it.
Shut up, Jeff!
We need some promos. We need more Scott Steiner. Somebody on the board get to it. We need Scott Steiner drops of him. I need the line where he called Joe a half-breed.
Half-breed and a fat little bastard.
A little fat bastard and everything else he called him. I need that promo. So anyway, Brent is just appalled over there. Give him the mic for a second. What are you so appalled about, Brent?
Samoans have a certain build. He doesn't look any different than any other Samoan, so he's saying he's only half Samoan?
Give the mic back to Vince for a second. Brent, this is what I need to explain to you, okay? Give him the mic. He may want to have a rebuttal. All night, Brent, you've been driving us crazy. You want to know why?
What else is new? I always drive you crazy.
Because you've been reading Observer since how long?
1993?
1993. That's 13 years.
Longer than some of our listeners have been alive.
And you still ask some of the dumbest questions for some reason. I don't know why. What possesses you?
Well, sometimes
Let me give you an example.
Funny.
For example, today you calmly walked in the room here after I'd kicked you out because I was trying to update the website. And you said, Bryan, can I just ask you one question? And I said, what's that, Brent? And you said, do you think Vince McMahon is going to give Ric Flair the day off tomorrow to watch Game 7? Did you not ask that question?
Well, of course, because it's in Carolina. He already does the woo whenever the Hurricanes score a goal.
Okay.
And he had 2 weeks off for his honeymoon.
Okay, so
can he have the week off to be at the game?
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Do you watch Raw?
Most of the time.
Okay, so have you seen what they're doing on Raw with Ric Flair?
Well, I didn't really watch it last week, but I heard that he's doing an angle with Mick Foley. So can they do it next week?
They're in Charlotte on Sunday, Brent. Ric Flair's hometown. And it's Ric Flair versus Mick Foley in Charlotte. So do you
and
really...
they're using the same arena. Oh, okay. It's in Raleigh. Okay, the Hurricanes play in Raleigh. Okay.
The point is, it's this coming Sunday.
Okay.
So you think Vince is going to give Ric Flair the Raw before the pay-per-view off so he can go watch the Carolina Panthers play a fucking game?
Hurricanes. No.
Okay, well, that's the answer to your question. It stunned me that you asked such a question. Because of all people, you hate Vince McMahon more than anyone I know, I believe. And yet you actually, somewhere inside, thought maybe Vince McMahon would give Ric Flair the day off to watch the fucking Hurricanes?
McMahon and Flair have always gotten along. Sometimes he doesn't book Flair very well, but personally I think he respects him and he likes him.
All right. Well, the answer's no.
Okay.
I thought I'd clear that up.
All right.
If I remember any more questions, I'm going to ask you to defend them, too, because...
Brent, a lot of people on the board think you're a gimmick. They think you're a work. They think you can't be real. And I'm standing here in the same room with you, listening to everything you say, and I think, you know what? These people are right. This is a work. This man's whole life is a gimmick.
But you know it's not true.
No, I don't think it is now. I think it's true. I'm starting to think Brent's got a lot going on upstairs, and he gets some perverse pleasure out of being Brent Kremen and seeing how the world reacts. It's like a reverse version of the Truman Show.
Give him the mic back.
A number of people have told me that I should write a book, as I've had so many things that have happened in my life, and nobody will believe that they're true. And so I should go and write this fiction book, and at the end of the book I should put, by the way, these stories are all about me and they're all true. And I'm going to do that someday.
And I will publish it for you. and nobody on our board will buy it.
And by the way, some of the comments that I make during the pay-per-views, I just say to get a reaction.
I have noticed that. But the reason I brought that one up was because you went out of your way to come all the way into this room when you knew I was busy to ask this question. Therefore, you legitimately wanted to know the answer. I did. Okay, that's why I had to point that one out. Your stupid questions regarding Scott Steiner and a half-breed, I just totally ignored. I believe that was just you being Brent Kremen.
After you kicked him out of this room for asking a stupid question, he came out into the living room where I was fast-forwarding through the 3D James Gang match, and he didn't want to watch the W's match. And he asked me some question. I told him to just shut up. I had enough of him by this point. I said, for 10 minutes, Brent, just let me watch this and just be quiet. So he asked me if I still work for a magazine. And I said, Brent, please shut up. And he said, just tell me yes or no. And I said, Brent, fuck you.
I heard that. I thought there was going to be a fight.
Fortunately, Brent shut up. It worked.
Yes.
He did, in fact, go fuck himself. So we were cool after that.
Anyway, I'm going to move on away from you for a minute, Brent. You're not the focus of this show. TNA is. We watched these Scott... By the way, actually, I'm going to give the mic back for a second. Do you have any comments of any value on the main event which you watched?
Yeah, when those bottles started flying in the ring, I thought that was hilarious. I don't hate Jeff Jarrett as much as Bryan and Vince, and I just find them amusing, and I wasn't sure whether that was the reaction that they were looking for that finish. I suspect not, and it'll be interesting to see what they
you have it on pause,
do
jackass.
at this point.
Go shut it off and turn the volume down.
Oh, and by the way, at the old AWA shows where they that were when they were on ESPN, they had a finish to a match that was controversial, and they had, I believe, a title change, and so Stanley Blackburn would go on TV the next day and would announce that the title change was reversed. And so that would explain my reference from earlier.
Thank you for clearing that up for us, Brent, for the youngsters on the board. Steiner and Joe had a match, and we all knew the gimmick going in. Great promos, and not necessarily going to be a good match. I figured it would be short. It was longer than I expected it to be. It was better than I expected it to be. There was a point in the middle where it sort of began to drag. They teased a double count out, and Joe ended up getting back in the ring. He fired up, and they almost botched the finish. Steiner had him in the recliner, and Joe stood up with Steiner on his shoulders. Nearly lost him, but didn't. Dropped him neck first over the ropes, and then hit a fast rotating power slam for the pin. And I give this a thumbs up.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was a thumbs up.
A hearty thumbs up.
Most importantly, say everything you want about Scott Steiner. And I will preface this, by the way, Brent, by saying I don't hate Jeff Jarrett. I just realized Jeff Jarrett he's not what this company needs.
I don't hate Jeff Jarrett.
He's not a world champion.
I recognize the fans do hate Jeff Jarrett.
Yes. But if this were real money drawing Jeff Jarrett heat, they would not have lost $30 million over 4 years. And I'm going to get into something else here in a moment, but let me get on here a little bit farther first. But anyway, the point is, they had a good match, and it was a match where, unlike with the Kevin Nash deal, when it was over, it actually felt like Joe had accomplished something in pinning Scott Steiner. And that is saying something because Scott Steiner should not mean anything in 2006. But somehow he does. And this match helped make Joe.
Yeah.
This was a hearty thumbs up.
Joe was, in the fans' eyes, the number one guy in the company coming into the evening, and he is now higher than he was coming in.
Yes.
So it was good stuff. The match was, Austin was probably too strong, but it was very good. It was, from what I saw, the best match on the show. The fans were totally into it. There were other times in the show where
they were into this before the bell rang.
Yeah. They cared about this match. They cared who won and lost, and they wanted to see it. And there's a lot of times in the show where it seemed like they were hot for the big spots, and other than that, they were kind of cheering because they knew it was what they were supposed to be doing. Not for this time. This was authentic stuff.
Oh yeah.
They felt they had an interest in this match, and the whole thing worked.
Yes.
It was good stuff.
Brent?
This match was well executed. It accomplished its point, and if they're going to bring in WCW has-beens that have nothing left, like Scott Steiner, and I have no idea how he managed to get that degree from University of Michigan. He said that was his greatest accomplishment. The man's as dumb as a rock and not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and I have no idea how he managed to get it, but he did. And so this was, if they're going to use guys like that, I suggested to Scott D'Amore a couple of months ago, this is exactly what they need to do. Is they need to go and use those guys to put over the stars that they have built themselves.
It's a
good job to TNA.
It's a good thing you told Scott D'Amore that, because it may never have crossed his mind.
Yeah, Steiner may have won if you had not personally told Scott D'Amore that.
Give the mic to him for a second. Brent, I got to ask you a question. Scott Steiner comes on TV and plays a character, a madman, and I'm sure he's an angry man, but he's playing a character, and he's played a character throughout his entire career.
Terry Taylor.
What?
Didn't he attack Terry Taylor backstage when Taylor told him the finish of the match and he didn't like it? And didn't he get suspended with pay?
Stop. You've been watching the Scott Steiner TV character for a long time. And all you really know about Scott Steiner is his TV character.
No.
Yet he has a degree. So doesn't that suggest that maybe he is smart? What proof?
I think he might have gotten dumber over the years.
What proof?
And I'm making a point about Terry Taylor.
I had to turn you down for a second. You're turned down. So hold on a second. You're interrupting me. Just let me get my point out. What proof do you have that Scott Steiner is dumb? Because the available facts are a degree and a wrestling persona. So I want to know what proof you have that Scott Steiner is stupid.
Well, in the street smart sense, he's not stupid, because he knows, like when he was in WCW, he could do whatever he wanted backstage and he would get suspended with pay. So in that sense, he's not stupid. In the sense of academically whether he's stupid, I suppose interviews that he's done, he doesn't sound all that intelligent.
Ironic statement.
I suppose. I mean, sometimes when I'm talking off the top of my head, I don't sound very intelligent. But
nothing gets past you. Go on.
But you just read some of the crazy stuff the guy says, and
you assume he must be a fool.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Give it back to Vince. Glad we got that all cleared up. Let's move on now to we sort of covered the Cornette thing. America's Most Wanted faced AJ Styles and Chris Daniels. The storyline here was that they've lost AJ Styles and Chris Daniels 3 times because of Gail Kim. So tonight they had an insurance policy.
A neutralizer.
But she interfered 4 times, and there was no policy. So I was thinking, you're the dumbest babyface I've ever seen.
Your policy sucks.
So finally, out of nowhere, a being hit the ring. A hominid.
A biped.
I'm not sure.
A large female of indeterminate species.
Well, I was going to say, we do not know female.
I suspect female. Brent seems to know.
I just know that the only purpose that I can think of her on the show is she must be appealing to the lesbian demographic for the TNA pay-per-view audience.
That could very well be. This woman was the creature in the Patterson film. A large beast with pendulous breasts. I can think of no better way to describe this individual.
Okay, that's the funniest thing you've ever said.
I'm glad you both agree. I wish we had a webcam right now to show Brent gyrating. It's the only way I can describe the actions that is. Anyway, so she came out of the crowd and she hit the ring and she abducted Gail Kim, took her to the backstage.
Do you need some water or something?
Okay.
For those of you wondering, Brent's laughing right now. We've been accused of making fun of Brent until he cries. That's not what happens. Brent's laughing.
Brent is laughing. Would you like to...
But he's laughing until he cries. That's possible.
Jesus.
I was walking. What are you doing?
So...
Don't be behind... Okay. Okay, do that.
Good luck. Great.
Because Lord knows. Oh, never mind. So yes, the tag team match.
I need to find a...
You're a goddamn idiot. You're a fucking moron.
They had a match, and it was everything I hate about TNA. They had run-ins, they had interference, they had chair shots, They had people actually hitting the ring and abducting members of the entourage. And the thing is with TNA, sometimes things are legal and sometimes they're not. Like, if you knock out the ref, that's not a DQ. If you jump into the ring and steal a manager, that's not a disqualification. If you leave the fucking penalty box 18 seconds early, they can confiscate your title. So the rules are very odd in TNA, but this was just like it was just too much. It was a clusterfuck. And like I said, it was the exact kind of match that Jim Cornette would never have booked.
Mm-hmm.
This was a match with AJ Styles and Chris Daniels and AMW that those 4 guys in the ring should have a much better match.
Yeah.
This was like 3.25 stars, maybe.
That's a little high, I think.
It
was. You could tell they wanted it to be that good. They were trying to get the near falls, and some of them worked. But by and large, it was not as good as I think they thought it would be going in. But
this match suffered from the TNA curse of just every match has to have everything.
Yes.
And so, this was match number 5. They'd already seen Nash and Sabin. The X Division match with 6 guys doing every spot in the book. The Scott D'Amore Bobby Roode match where you had a manager getting beat up. You had the opener, which had blood, tables, chairs,
Cheese
and
grater.
The only thing it didn't have was fire, and the fans wanted that.
Yes, the fans were not satisfied with it. We'll get to that.
What was that?
That was, actually it's Beavis. It's also 2006.
You sounded like a bird. Let's just ignore Brent. I wish I could turn you down. When you're not on the mic, I can't turn the volume down. I just want to turn you down. Anyway, so yeah, it's just too much. Just too much.
Yeah, they tried hard. The finish was awesome, but it was not a classic like they thought.
And
it would
really,
be.
the finish wasn't even awesome. It was just they went nuts for it. It was a double. It was AJ hitting a great frog splash and Daniels hitting a moonsault, and they pinned the guy, and the place just erupted like the world titles had been won at WrestleMania. But it was like it didn't have that heat leading up to this.
No,
I mean there were points where it was just silent.
Yes.
And then they just went crazy for the finish. I don't know why.
Again, there was points where
that's why I gave it 3.25.
Yeah,
because seriously, something had to have worked for the crowd to have gone that insane.
That's true. But there were times where the faces would get the hot tag and the fans would cheer, but they weren't cheering because they were happy. They were cheering because it was their part in the script to cheer at that point.
Daniels got the hot tag and ran in, and it was just like they cheered. They didn't go crazy or anything like that. Especially, and they tease that hot tag forever.
Mm-hmm.
This crowd is very weird. You've got to fool this crowd. You've got to do something different to get this crowd. This crowd knows their role.
Yeah.
They know when they're supposed to cheer. They know when they're supposed to boo. I can't remember what match it is, but I wrote it in the report for the newsletter. But there was one point where everybody knew that what had happened in the ring was just not what was supposed to happen. It was bad. I wish I could remember the spot. But anyway, they went along with it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They went along with it. And every now and then, you can really get them. The finish of this match somehow did it.
Yeah.
The finish of this match was not the usual, we're cheering because there was a tag title change.
No, I agree.
This was passionate
Yes.
cheering. And the reaction when Jarrett grabbed the belt was also passionate hatred. Those were the two things on this crowd where they got him. The rest of the show was really just they did their role.
I would say they got into Joe and Steiner the whole thing.
That's another one, yeah.
But,
in fact, I can't believe I missed that one. That was
that
was the only match where the whole match they were like, we want to see this match.
And actually, from what I could tell of the opener, they seemed pretty much into that. But even then, when
there was a lot of that was one. See, I didn't agree with it there because they had the "This is awesome" chant.
Yeah.
And to me, when I watch this match, this was a match that got the best reaction of any lackluster match I think I've seen since Rock and Hogan in Toronto. I mean, This match really wasn't all that great.
No, it didn't look that good. But
they hit each other with shit. There was some bleeding. There were some tables. And the crowd was chanting, "This is awesome" and such, like it was the best main event they ever saw.
Like they had never seen hardcore wrestling before.
And I don't think they believed it is the key.
Well, no,
because it wasn't that awesome.
They were happy, they were cheering, they were into it, but then even when they threw the tables in, what the crowd chanted was, "We want fire."
That's right.
So they were having fun, but they're not really into the match.
Let's talk about that match while we're at it. It was Team 3E versus James Gang in a bingo hall brawl. I think the key here might have been that everybody knew this was supposed to be TNA showing ECW how it's done, and so they had to show the ECW fans how it was done.
That was the plan?
I don't believe there was that much real reaction from this crowd. As far as just they played their role. That's how I saw this reaction was the crowd played their role.
The crowd hit their spots.
And they liked it. Don't get me wrong. They didn't play their role and appreciate a bad match. This was just a pretty good match that they tried to make great. And that's another thing. For those people that say, Joe versus Kabashi was great, but it was all the crowd. No. Because this match would have been 5 stars with this crowd. And God knows it wasn't.
It was not, in fact, 5 stars.
It was not.
No.
So.
It was a mess. They did everything. They, as you said, chairs, tables, cheese grater. Billy Gunn bladed a lot to the point where Brent did not even recognize him.
Yes.
He came out and said, "Who's that bleeding?" And I said, "Billy Gunn." And he said, "Bill Donovan?" I said, "Bill E. Gunn." Jesus God. I think that's when I told him to fuck you. But
do you have something to say, Brent, about this opener?
Well, after that, I said he sure looks fatter than the last time I saw him.
Billy Gunn?
Yeah.
Of all the men
yeah. And then
he's ripped to shreds.
And then my main point was the crowd in Orlando. Would you say that most of them are regulars? Do they still hold up signs like they did in the WCW taping?
Yes, they're all on pay-per-view nights. They're all the same folks.
Okay.
And put the mic a little closer to your face, by the way. Just don't suck on it.
So.
For God's sake.
You have to share that with Vince.
Yeah.
We don't need fluid swapping in this house.
Please, it's enough of that. So, they're regulars, and they don't have signs for them telling them when to cheer and boo.
Okay. Yes. No. These are just They don't have applause signs.
All right. Well, so they reacted the way that they're supposed to.
They know. Right. They've been there every week for 52 straight weeks, and more than that. They were there tonight. They're going to be there tomorrow too.
All right.
So probably 104 to what's 104 plus 50? Wait, my math is totally wrong.
They do tapings too.
154.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, give the mic back.
I had one other comment. I think that I am a
June.
Fan that's terrible for the wrestlers because I tend to only get excited at high spots.
I noticed that.
They're the most dangerous.
I noticed that. You're not into the match unless somebody does something crazy.
Yeah. So, am I similar to the TNA fans at all, or?
No,
at least tonight?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say this. You're not.
You are not similar to any other human being on the face of the earth.
You're not the sort of fan. There's a certain kind of fan that only gets into people almost dying. You don't get into that. You only get into spectacular stuff.
That's true.
And you got into some stuff tonight that was like spinning head scissors and stuff like that.
Or a drop kick.
Sure, something very safe, but spectacular. You're just more into spectacular kind of wrestling. That's fine. There are people like that. So, that was the opener. Then we had Scott D'Amore and Bobby Roode versus Rhino. Not much to it. Rhino gorged Scott D'Amore and won, and that was that.
Even when D'Amore loses, he's still the focus of the show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, without question, this was the Scott D'Amore show. But I
don't know. I was in the middle of this when you called us in to start the show. I saw one great spot wherein Bobby Roode went to leap up in the corner, thinking Rhino would run under him. Rhino did not, in fact, run under him, and Bobby Roode said, "Shit," and turned around and got clotheslined, and I laughed and laughed and laughed.
And Brent asked you if it was a missed spot.
Brent believes it was a blown spot.
Brent, I'm going to ask you
Do we want to have this debate in the air?
I'm going to have the debate because I'm just going to explain it to you. It was a worked missed spot. In the story of the match, he missed a spot. That's why he said, "Oh, shit." But in real life, he didn't miss a spot. It does make sense. Just go with it. So then we had the X Division.
You have no idea how much we were yelling at each other about this.
The X Division ranking match. Senshi, Petey Williams, Shark Boy, Jay Lethal, Alex Shelley, and Sanjay Dutt. It was a fine little match. It was an X Division showcase, that sort of thing. Everybody did spots. My complaints about this match are Alex Shelley. This is the second time this has happened. They act like they're doing something with Alex Shelley. The first time it happened was the paparazzi stuff with Sting, where he was up there in the main event mix supposedly. He was hanging out with all the main eventers.
Hanging out with Jarrett and the crew.
Sure, and they were trying to position him as a big star, at least a guy that was a hanger on to the big stars. So then the very next pay-per-view, he just does job clean.
Yes.
So then they have him here in this match, and he's butting up with Kevin Nash. He's doing spots with Kevin Nash. He's Kevin Nash's gopher, lackey, sidekick, whatever you want to call it, his Nash's friend, Shelley. And so what do they do in this match? There's 6 guys, or, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys, and he's the second one pinned. He is now the number 5 contender in the X Division.
Wow.
The only guy worse than him is the Shark Boy.
Well, at least he's above him.
So, yeah, and the final 2 men in the ring ended up being Senshi and Sanjay Dutt. Senshi tied him in the Tree of Woe, stepped on his knees so that Sanjay Dutt sat up, and then delivered a jumping double foot stomp to his face.
Yes.
He was killed, and Senshi won. So he is the number 1 contender. I believe he'll be getting the shot at the top of the first hour tomorrow against Samoa Joe at the taping. So that will be this Thursday. At least that was the rumor.
Well, that will be awesome whenever they do it.
It will be stupid.
That too.
Why the fuck would you not put this on pay-per-view?
Because they're stupid.
I presume they're doing Joe and... actually, no, they wouldn't do Joe and Steiner again. It was just a clean finish, so they can move on now. But yeah, this... I would have saved this for pay-per-view.
Perhaps they'll do a non-finish tomorrow.
They could do that. That's a possibility.
Or whenever they do the taping Tuesday.
So anyway, that was that. Brent, you actually saw this match, and you were a big fan of it because of the wacky high jinx-a-roonies. So, what'd you think?
You talking about Kevin Nash?
No, you jackass. The X Division match.
Oh yeah, the X Division. Yeah, that was outstanding. I mean, they had all the crazy stuff that was going on. That was my favorite match. I personally gave it 5 stars.
You gave that match 5 stars.
I did. Lots of crazy stuff. That's how I rated it.
That's okay. Everyone has different opinions. It's okay. Hand that back to Vince.
Fuck you, you fucking goose!
Then we had the Kevin Nash match. Vince, were you here for the Kevin Nash match?
I arrived in the middle of the Kevin Nash match.
You arrived in the middle of it. I see. Well, what did you think of the whole whack-maroo?
Well...
Could I get your email address? Maybe we could email each other.
I love that.
That speech was awesome. The part where he says, if I don't want to talk to you, why would I want to hunt and peck a message to you?
Oh, LOL. We're laughing out loud.
I got to put Brent on. Put Brent on for a second. Brent, and give him these. Brent, I know you hate Kevin Nash. You ranted about him and you ranted about him during this show. But Kevin Nash has been at his funniest in his whole career. Nash for a long time had a reputation of being a great interview, and he really wasn't very good. I don't know where he got this reputation. I think part of it was he always hung out with Scott Hall, and Scott Hall had the charisma of about 25 men. So when they were together doing wacky stuff, Nash he was funny by osmosis, basically. It was really Scott Hall that was the funny one. But lately, Nash has really come into his own. He's been cutting some great promos, and...
Could I get your email address? Maybe we could email each other.
This was for a Kevin Nash promo on the website that I am so sad they did not play on the air.
LOL. We're laughing out loud.
You know so funny is I thought of Buddy Wayne when he did this whole promo.
Could I get your email address? Maybe we could email each other.
Listen to you, Brent. What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, it was funny.
I got a song for you. I want you to hear this one.
All right, these guys! I got my 2x4. I got the American flag.
Excellent. Brings back some memories.
Brings back some memories.
Satchelass! Satchelass! Satchelass!
That would be Terry Funk.
That's Terry Funk. We should play the drop game with Brent one of these days. That was not the time, but...
Can I have some comments on Kevin Nash?
Go. The floor is yours.
All right.
Ric Flair.
That was a honky-tonk man.
Oh.
Calm down. Please sit down and relax, Vince.
Well.
Oh, boy, Brent's taking a seat.
Did Kevin Nash get a phone call from Jerry Jarrett or Jeff Jarrett, whoever's booking this, and saying, you know, the one unique aspect of this promotion is the X Division. So we want you to come in, bury all these guys, make sure that nobody gives a crap about them, and that they're a big joke, and basically to squash them. And Bryan, I believe you said no.
I will explain this to you, and then you can continue.
Okay.
Kevin Nash came up with this idea. He was like, I will come in and say the X Division is a bunch of midgets. I will have a series of matches. And in the end, I'll put over one of the X Division stars, and we'll make the division into something important. And they said, that's a great idea. And even though everybody, I shouldn't say everybody because they didn't, even though a lot of people knew this is going to be a disaster, they thought otherwise. They thought this is going to work out great. And thus, we're getting what we're getting.
Well, you know, Meltzer likes to use the phrase, and you probably do too, slip on a banana peel.
Sure.
Yeah, is that what Kevin Nash intends to do? He doesn't really intend to.
I'm sure Kevin Nash.
Anyone.
I'm sure Kevin Nash intends to do that. I'm sure that he's convinced them otherwise that he will do something different.
Are they smart enough to know the difference?
Well,
Jarrett probably is.
Clearly not, because Kevin Nash pinned Chris Sabin tonight.
Right. So the best case scenario is that he's going to bury every wrestler in the X Division except for one of them. It's the best case scenario. Our worst case scenario is he's going to bury every wrestler, including the one that he loses to, because fans will consider that result a joke. And the entire promotion he's going to destroy, which would be the second promotion that he's helped destroy.
I actually consider that the best case scenario if he destroyed the entire X Division and the guy he's supposed to be putting over. The worst case scenario would be if he actually destroyed the whole company. I don't think he's going to do that. But the X Division is fucked. And you saw this match, Brent. Am I lying when I say that during this match there were people chanting, Sabin sucks?
I believe that's correct.
There were, in fact, people chanting, Sabin sucks. There were people chanting for Kevin Nash. Many people saw Kevin Nash as the baby face in this match. He's supposed to be the heel.
Right. And his knees are shot, and he doesn't have much of a future in the company. He has no business being there. He's more interested in amusing himself. I don't know if he's doing this for a paycheck or if he's just doing this for his own amusement.
Paycheck. The thing I was trying to explain to you, Brent, is this. I can't hate Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash cuts promos and he's really funny. And everything that's being done, he ain't the booker. Everything that has happened in this feud is all TNA's fault. Because A, they put it together, and B, they should have known going in what was going to happen. I can't fault him at all. The only thing I can really fault him for is, if it were me, I think I really would try to put the whole division over. He clearly, he sees everything as a joke. And I make a lot of jokes and everything like that, but, there are certain things that, not everything is a joke in life. You can try to make things better. And he doesn't, I don't think that's a major concern of his. His concern is getting Kevin Nash over. Because his whole career, his goal has been to get Kevin Nash over, and he's very, very wealthy because of it. And so he doesn't see a need to, do anything otherwise. Or maybe he actually does think that he is doing some sort of benefit to TNA, but if that's really what he thinks, he's a fool. Because he has turned the division really into, or at least this program for sure. The people were somewhat into the X Division Spot Fest, but they now see the division as the Cruiserweight Geeks. He's turned it into the SmackDown Cruiserweight division, really.
Well, we basically agree. I think that Kevin Nash knows exactly what he's doing, and he does just want to get himself over, even if he drives this company out of business.
The thing is with the X Division is there's two guys right now. There's Samoa Joe, and I guess AJ and Daniels count, but they're sort of heavyweights. They're in a heavyweight division now for the tag titles. So really right now you've got Samoa Joe.
And he's not even really a true X Division participant anyway, because No Limits, I think of there's no limits as far as what you can do, and just because of his size,
Well, no limits.
he's not going to be doing flips through the air.
Sure, but no limits includes no weight limits.
Right.
But the point is, he's a champion, so he's in the X division. So you've got Samoa Joe and you've got Senshi. And the reason that they're over is because they're bigger than the X division. And that's the only reason. The idea should be to try and get the whole division over, and instead you're killing the whole division for everybody else. And the only reason those two guys are staying afloat is because they're above that division, really. So, I don't know. It's a failure. Get Vince in here. Vince, come here. We need to get his thoughts on this match. I mean, the match was... Nash can't do a goddamn thing. Saban was working very, very hard for the Saban sucks chance. And, you know, it was what it was. They're continuing this feud.
Yeah, I can, first of all, I feel better having taken that 5-minute break, and I think that little conversation there actually may have been the highlight of the show. So, maybe I should leave more often. And I can confirm they were, in fact, chanting for Nash, or at least a large percentage of the crowd saw him as the babyface. And coming into tonight, I did not think that they had done anything to really harm the division as a whole. Well, I was wrong.
Have you seen the error of your ways?
I was mistaken. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, this was really exactly. It wasn't any better or worse than I expected. It was exactly what I expected.
I came in the middle of it. As far as the quality of the match, it was okay. It wasn't great, but what do you want from Kevin Nash and Chris Sabin in 2006? So, yeah, and Kevin Nash was the babyface by the end for sure.
Yep. So kids,
they're a bunch of geeks.
Yeah. Overall, the pay-per-view, you know, like I said, for the Joe stuff was just perfect for the second pay-per-view in a row. The one thing is, TNA, they're really on the ball with Samoa Joe.
It's amazing when you look at it and how much stuff they are not doing right, and yet they have...
I actually am not amazed. I will tell you why.
All right.
I followed WCW, obviously, for many years. I wrote a book on its death. I watched the stupidity week after week after week. And they never screwed up Goldberg until the very end.
Even when Nash beat him?
That's the very end.
All right.
I'm talking at the very beginning when it started going on the win streak. I mean, they didn't screw it up all the way. I guess
a year and a half.
The first real screw up was when he won the belt for free.
Well, yeah.
They could have made millions of dollars on pay-per-view, and they just fucked it all up by giving it away for free on TV.
But even that didn't fuck up Goldberg.
No, even that was a huge success for Goldberg. But the point was, that should never have worked. There were so many people, everybody was trying to kill Goldberg.
Yes.
And Eric Bischoff was like, this man will not lose. He didn't take any shit. He didn't listen to anybody. He was like, this man ain't gonna lose, and he didn't. And they did not screw it up. And it was like the one thing where it just amazed me. They fucked everything up, and they didn't screw up Goldberg. And so, you know, I'm not surprised that TNA can make many, many mistakes and still do one thing right. I mean, clearly, you know, they know how to do this right with Joe, and somewhere, somebody with a lot of power realizes that this is one they can't screw up. And they've done it right every month.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
For a year, really.
This is the 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, the hiccup on the path there was the X Division thing, and even then they made a point of saying he's never been pinned and never submitted.
Sure,
So.
and even that, really, the whole reason that went down was because of their contract renegotiations.
Yeah,
they felt they had to take the belt off him, and even then they did not beat him.
And no one remembers it.
Because I remember it. I can't say that. I believe somewhere in there somebody must have known, you know, we probably shouldn't screw this up just in case.
Yeah.
And, you know, he should never have gone on the cables, but another story entirely. But I got to give it a thumbs up just for that Samoa Joe stuff. We are watching a star being created. There's always the statement, TNA, which stars TNA ever created? They're creating one right now before our eyes. It's Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe is a much bigger star than he was when he arrived 1 year ago.
Yes. So, got to give it a thumbs up for that. Brent, any final comments tonight? Any, preferably lucid?
Yes. I just recall after WCW went out of business.
Yes.
And before TNA was formed, Meltzer wrote that whoever starts up a promotion needs to be prepared to lose money for a very long time.
Yes.
And they need to go and focus on getting pay-per-view, building a television network, developing their own stars, maybe using some established stars to put over those stars. And TNA is accomplishing a lot of that. They are building very slowly. They have lost $30 million, but they were going to lose money anyway. Panda obviously has deep pockets, and if Kevin Nash doesn't screw it up and if the booking committee doesn't screw it up, then they will succeed. As far as the big picture, they have a decent time slot, not a great one. They got a decent time slot on Spike. I don't know. I'm always asleep by midnight, so I don't ever see it. But they have their pay-per-views, and they have a decent talent roster if they want to do something. So I think that things long term are looking good for them.
Jeff Jarrett cut a promo early in the show. You reminded me of this. Oh God. Jeff Jarrett cut the promo. Our critics gave us 6 weeks. It is our 4-year anniversary. We're still here. Like he proved everybody wrong, goddammit. I am so sick.
I gave my rebuttal to that already.
I am so sick of hearing this bullshit about how everybody said it was going to last 6 weeks or whatever the time length was, and we're still here. The deal is, when this thing started, and I'm sure the issue's in the archives, I said 3 months. I said I'd give this promotion 3 months with this business model. And if you read Jerry Jarrett's book, Jerry Jarrett says in September it was dead had Panda not stepped in and saved them. Now, I'm not great at math, but I believe June through early September is 3 months. To crow about how after 4 years you're still here because you found a money mark that dumped $30 million into your company, and that proved everybody wrong that said you would be dead in 3 months, that fucking drives me crazy.
Apparently.
It drives me crazy because everybody points it out like, wow, you guys were so wrong. They sure showed you. They were a huge success from right out of the gate, and they're still a huge success today.
And that's not true?
No, they're still a money loser today.
They're still a failure.
And they've lost about $9 million every year. And without this money mark, pumping money into them, they would be dead. And they would have been dead on the exact month I predicted that they would have been dead. Go ahead, Brent. I want to hear this.
As I just said, anyone who started a promotion after WCW folded from scratch will lose money for years. The point is you need to go and you need to build...
The point is this.
You need to build a model where you can eventually make money. It might take 5 years. It might take 7 years.
Brent, the model they built in June, the model that I said would last 3 months, in fact lasted 3 months. Well, a weekly pay-per-view.
That was a stupid idea.
Okay,
with no
the
television.
point I'm trying to make right now is the promos that I hear and the shit that I hear about this 3-month deal is not that it was a bad idea. It's that you were wrong. We were a success right out of the gate and we're still around today. That's not the case. They were dead in 3 months, and Panda stepped in, and they continued to lose millions of dollars. So I don't want to hear this bullshit about how this is a success and everybody was wrong, because it's like, if you want to go on and cut a promo and go, you know what, we had a very rough road at the start. We had a lot of obstacles. We overcame all those obstacles. We're still not through the woods yet, but you know what? It's been 4 years, and by God, we're still here. I'd be totally fine with that. I would be totally fine with it, because that's the truth.
That's right.
And this bullshit about how everybody gave us 6 weeks and look at this, they were such fools. We weren't fools. We were right. That's the whole point.
Yes, well, they just can't say that. What you're saying is
they
accurate.
Could.
I agree with you.
They could say that. It still makes
them look weak to go and say that.
No, because they're still around. That's their strength. They are still here after 4 years, and that is a credit to them. I will give Jerry Jarrett credit. He may be the greatest worker there's ever been.
Yes.
Because he has found a way to lose $30 million and still be around 4 years later. They found a money mark to pump $30 million into this company so his child could be the champ. He may be the best worker there's ever been.
Anyone would have lost money for 4 years. It was said before that company was formed.
He's about to turn you down.
You are so totally missing the point.
Yes, that's fine, though. I understand your point, but you're missing my point. And I don't want to be here arguing for 2 hours, so we'll just end it here.
A quick note just to pump up Jerry Jarrett more. He's lost $30 million, but it ain't his money.
That's right. Fantastic.
For all we know, he's actually profited off the deal.
Fantastic worker that man is. So anyway, kids, that's it for the TNA review today. I want to thank you both, Vinny and Brent. Brent, you were lucid at points today, so good job. There is something behind that Jew. What? Oh, Brent. Okay, I'm going to actually let Brent plug this. I just want you to know, Brent, that you were doing this at your own risk. Okay, give him the mic.
You're risking all the feedback you get.
Give him the mic.
Miss Galatea, who you might remember, was kind enough to set up a page for me on MySpace. I'm not terribly computer literate, so she handled this. So you go to myspace.com/The Kremen.
The Kremen.
The Kremen.
TheKremen. The Kremen.
That's correct. And if you have any lady friends out there, let them know to check out the site, please. Ladies only send responses. The rest of you are welcome to give feedback to Bryan and Vince.
As a Jew.
Is it required this young lass be Jewish?
No.
Really?
No. They just have to be 18. They have to be Jewish if they want to marry me.
I see. If they just want to fuck.
If you shut Brent up.
I silenced him. That was an accomplishment, you have to admit.
You're the man.
WWE.com can suck my dick. Suck my dick. Suck my dick. Here we go. WWE.com suck my dick.
Oh, yes.
Suck my dick.
Oh, yes.
Suck my dick.
Oh, yes. Correct. Up and down, all the way down. Straight, correct. Up and down, all the way down.
This show is taking a really weird turn. Uh-oh. No. Uh-oh. No. Uh-oh. No. Uh-oh. No. You are another bag, you son of a bitch.
Here we go. Iron Sheik is rapping.
You are bag, you are punk.
And then fuck our ass.
Never, ever let us take that joke. Because you're out, God knows what they're gonna do with you.
But operate I would operate the knob with my mouth. 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 I'm in here. I'm fucking ready to eat Vince. No.
You know, I mean, he's a big guy. I mean, you know, with a hard on, 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 with a hard on. Loads of jizz. Loads of jizz. Loads of jizz.
99 seconds.
Oh, yes. Here we go. Fuck you too. Fuck you too. Oh, yes. Fuck you too. Fuck you too. Oh, yes.
It was our first time.
Yes.
It was our first time.
Yes.
Suck my dick. So my dick. That was the F4W Boogie.
God damn, I'm cool.
By C. Hodgson 379 on the board. I believe that, I think we're going to have a lot of requests for that song. That was a fine.
That was very good.
That was a beautiful little creation right there. All right, we're doing the show and getting it over with. It is the Bryan and Vinny show for Saturday, I believe. No, Sunday now, June 25th, 2006. I'm here with young Vincent. We've got 18,000 different shows to review, and I would like to start off by saying that somebody on the board today was talking about, I see impending burnout. First off, I want to warn everybody that if I lose my temper on this show, if I do any yelling and screaming, I apologize in advance. I'm tired right now. No one understands. That's fine. I don't want to hear IMM yelling about how I shouldn't complain about this, that, and the other thing. It's been a long fucking day, so give me a break. And for that person that said he saw burnout coming, yeah, guess what? I'm burned out. I ain't going to lie about it. But you know what? This ain't burnout as a result of doing a bunch of shows. This ain't burnout as a result of doing the website or the newsletter. This is burnout induced by fucking Vince McMahon and Dana White and Jeff Jarrett. I blame Jeff Jarrett.
Sure.
Him alone. And a number of other people that have put a fucking at least one show on the air every single day since, what day did we start?
1973, I think.
I can't remember. And this doesn't stop. Tomorrow, I've got to be up early because I've got 6 hours of work I've got to do in 3 hours, if that's even possible, so I can fucking leave here at noon to go to a Pinnacle show and then to pay-per-view with Craig and come back here and do some more work. And of course, besides the shows tomorrow, we've got more shows on Monday. The Raw show, perhaps the All Access, the Guerreros del Ring.
Whoa, go back. What's All Access?
Don't even ask.
Okay.
Tuesday, we've got ECW. Wednesday, another Ultimate Fight night. We'll talk about that in a moment. Thursday, more TNA. Friday, fucking SmackDown. I think we're actually Saturday's Guerreros del Ring. We're going to watch that day. And then Sunday is going to be another Pride pay-per-view. And it just keeps on going. So if I sound burned out, sorry. It ain't my fault. I did not book this TV schedule. So anyway, you can all blow me. I don't mean that. I don't want to take this out on the people. It's not you guys' fault. I just wanted to point out that whoever said that burnout was coming, well, it's not coming. It's already here.
You know, I was sitting here thinking, at least it was nice to not do a show for 3 or 4 days, whatever it was, since Monday night. And then I realized we're going to do...
What are you talking about? Like I said, it has nothing to do with doing the show here.
Right, well...
I've been watching shows every day.
Yes.
I haven't had a break. And it's on top of everything. I don't even want to start about how...
There's a million things going on in the world outside of wrestling.
Yes, I woke up at fucking 6 o'clock a.m. today. I'm starting the show after not sleeping for 19 hours. I can only imagine the turn this show could take.
You mentioned several hours ago this will be the best or worst show ever.
Yeah, probably will. So then we have the SmackDown show, which we watched before the Ultimate Fighter. That was a dramatic pause right there, by the way.
Well done.
I bet you thought I was going to say Ultimate Fight Night, but instead I teased it.
You swerved me.
I said the Ultimate Fighter. That's what I did earlier tonight.
God, you're great.
Don't try and correct me, Vince. You know when I screw up, I'm the first to admit it.
Sometimes.
Like when I,
lose your phone?
Fuck off. You know what's funny about that? I was going to say, I admit when I'm wrong. Like when I agreed to have you on this show. And instead, I stopped myself. I was going to be a nice guy. And I was about to move on, and you threw out, like when you forget your phone. Well, so of the two of us, who's the dick?
Not only that, but I also jumped in your dramatic pause.
You did again. I'm ready. If I had any energy, there's a possibility I'd just leap over this table. And
I would love to see you try, because I know you would not make it. You'd impale yourself with a microphone or something.
I wouldn't do that. I'm an athlete.
Yeah, but you're also tired.
That's why I said if I had the fucking energy, I would leap over the table.
That's why I said I'd like to see you try.
If I had the energy, I would get over the table, is the point I'm trying to make.
Right, but you don't have it, which is why I like to see you try. Is this that hard? I don't want you to try and kill me when you're ready to kill me. I want you to come and kill me when you have no chance.
If you see shaking, he'll humble you old
You never respect a fact. You never respect a game. He gonna suplex you, then he break your back. I said he'll suplex you, then he gonna break your back. He'll put you in the camel clutch, and then he'll fuck your ass. I don't care if you're Rosie O'Donnell, or if you're Sophia Loren. He'll have the sex with the Sheiky if you share his medicine. So listen up, Bryan, be blessed. Hulk Hogan and all you jabronis. The Sheiky's gonna fuck you up like you was Dan Maloney. He's the Sheiky, baby. He humble you old country way.
That was sweet, Rusty B.
That was awesome.
I feel better now. Nothing like a little bit of Sheiky blues.
Sheiky blues. If this was one day in and of itself, I'd be fine.
No. I just got a new lease on life.
What just happened? What did I miss? You were not this happy when we got here.
I feel like shit. Might as well be,
You did put up a fine front.
Well, actually,
you had me fooled.
I actually do feel relatively fine. This was a fine day. It was, my only complaint today is Buddy Wayne doesn't have air conditioning in his car. That needs to be remedied immediately. It's very fucking hot all the way down to wherever we went today for the shows. But Craig has air conditioning in his house. That was good. That was a positive.
That was great.
And, you know, we saw some good wrestling. We saw it was a pretty good main event at Pinnacle. Mm-hmm. Saw a good WWE pay-per-view. Probably would have been better if I wasn't dozing off half the time because of the insufferable weather today. Unbelievably hot. Even with the air conditioning on, it was still frickin' hot in that house.
It was the first sunny, beautiful weekend in Seattle of the year, and I spent the entire time moving and watching wrestling.
It would have been of the decade, really. We had 10 people over at Craig's house, and all those bodies in the house, it would have been 2,000 degrees without that air. I would have just started kicking people out. I would just said, you guys over there on the couch, never had anything this pay-per-view, just get out. Who else could we have kicked out?
I'd have left.
Sean's brother, because his subscription expired, out. Sean, for asking for a subscription for his brother, out. Who am I missing? You, just get out for the hell of it.
Yeah, I would have gone. I volunteered first.
Yeah, but it was a fine day. Nice weather. I was fine with today.
Beautiful weather.
I do feel like I could fall asleep in the middle of this show. That's happened before.
Well, that seems to be the theme of the pay-per-view, was really, because I thought it was just me having had a long several days. I haven't gotten more than 6 hours sleep in a week or more, and won't until this weekend. And during the pay-per-view,
I've got to cut you off right here. This has to do with you're talking about no sleep and that sort of thing in this show. Now the big threat on the board is there needs to be some changes in Figure 4 because of this week. Because Bryan's so tired and he's so angry, there needs to be changes. We can't put up with this anger anymore on the show. He needs to stop watching Pride. That was a big one. That was Nut Bunny. Stop watching Pride.
And I want you to know I did not start that thread.
No, I just thought it was hilarious that there was a thread in the newsletter section. Is there going to be any back issues this week? Like all of a sudden the newsletter's important on the site. That's a gag. I'm like, no, I'm too busy. So Nut Bunny's like, stop watching Pride. When was the fucking last Pride show that we watched?
It seems like years.
So then someone else is like, stop watching UFC.
That ain't happening.
Okay, yes. First off, I enjoy UFC, so that ain't happening. And second off, Yes, this week there was a lot of UFC because, and this is all UFC's fault. We don't really fucking need 2 to 3 hour specials or whatever within 7 days, but after that there's only going to be a pay-per-view and then there's no Ultimate Fighter till August. That's not a problem. Don't get so excited, Vince. You're going to miss Ultimate Fighter next Thursday.
It's my favorite show, but it's one less thing I have to watch.
But anyway, the point is, the problem isn't it isn't UFC and it isn't wrestling. It's everything.
Yes.
And I'm not going to stop watching it because I don't want to. You have to understand, I just get mad because there's so much stuff this week, and it's just ridiculous.
It's just this time frame.
Listen, if I didn't want to watch something, I wouldn't watch it. There's no Guerrero's Del Ring. I've already made the decision this week. I ain't watching Guerrero's Del Ring. I just don't want to watch it. I don't have the time this week, and that's what ends up getting cut. Everything else, hey, it's not like I was suffering having to go out to watch Ultimate Fight Night last night, or Ultimate Fighter Finals. I was just pissed off that it was another fucking show. I'm going to watch it all because I like it. It just...
You sound so happy when you say that.
I'm flabbergasted. I mean, I need to stop going on the board or something like that because sometimes the board really gets to me. And this is one of those weekends. Everybody is bitching about something or other.
That's true.
Brian's too crabby. No, Brian's not crabby enough. I hated that show. No, I love that show. The board needs to be No, it doesn't. This, that, and the other thing. It's everybody's just bitching about. I'm just not going to go on the board till like Tuesday. Everybody just bitch to their heart's content. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want on this show. I'm going to watch what I want, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. If you don't like the show because I've been complaining, then turn the fucking show off.
Jesus Christ, dude. Feel better?
I actually feel a little better.
Have you been holding that in for a while?
I am starting to sweat profusely
that coming out of nowhere.
And just random bitching on I'm just sick of bitching.
Well, you do spend a lot of time with me.
And I am doing a lot of bitching on this show. That's
fine.
Also
true.
Okay? But hey, you know what? Like I said, if I really get sick of the bitching on the board, I'm just going to stop reading the board. So it goes both ways. If you get sick of the bitching on this here radio show, just stop listening to the fucking show. And another thing. The bitching about this show needs to be 4 hours long. These shows aren't getting the proper amount of coverage on the show.
These shows?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
TNA didn't get enough coverage, apparently, this past week.
Sorry, Dixie. Sorry, Jeff.
Let me explain how this works. Just got an IMM from or an IMM. What a coincidence.
An IM from IMM.
An IM. It wasn't from IMM. No, here's the deal on this show. Somebody last night, I can't remember who it was, somebody was bitching, Ultimate Fighter finale should have got a full hour. Okay, let me explain something to you. I could have talked for a full hour about that fucking show. We talked about that show for 25 minutes last night, and when we were done, I covered every part of it that I was going to cover.
There were 5 fights, I believe, on TV, and 2 of them were very short.
Yes. When I limit things on the show, I limit things. The difference is this. When we cover SmackDown, if SmackDown's the only show that we watch, then we'll probably talk about every single solitary thing on the show, and much of it's really bullshit, okay? If we've got to cover 6 shows, yes, I'm going to do less coverage of TNA, but you know what? We're still going to hit all the important points.
Yes.
It's not like I'm going, we don't have time for TNA. I'm not going to cover the angle where Joe lost the X title. Okay, we covered that in quite some detail. And tonight we're going to cover the pay-per-view and Hogan Knows Best. And we're going to cover both of them in exact as much detail as I want to cover them in. If this show's over in 20 minutes, that's all I want to talk about them.
You know what? I actually, in the car driving over here, was going over that almost word for word the promo you just said. And then by the time I got here, I lost my energy. But yes, I agree. We're going to talk about the show. We're going to say what needs to be said, and I'm going to quit, and we're going to go home.
That's right. We're going to say exactly how much needs to be said.
I'm reminded, and this is not entirely what you're talking about, but someone on the board made a complaint. They wanted us to talk about the matches more.
No.
Well, A, no. B, what exactly would they want us to say? Go over the move for move, and they brought up the match Angle had with Mark Henry, where he did that stupid flip dive and landed on his head.
And we covered that.
We covered it, and his point was he never would have noticed it. So he wanted us to find something like that in every match.
Well, there isn't something like that in every match.
I know. That's what I said to him. But complaints we get sometimes are just.
I'm not meaning to cut a promo on every single person on the board. This is not really directed at maybe a couple people in particular, but not really directed at everybody in particular. But here's the deal about the board and the show and the website and everything like that. I'm going to do it the way I'm going to do it. And that's just the way it is. If you don't like it, you've got a couple of options.
Kiss his ass, suck his dick.
Wow. I wasn't actually going to say that. My options are, if you don't like the board, don't read the board. If you don't like a certain guy on the board, hit the ignore button or just don't read his post.
For the love of God, yes. This is not complicated.
If there's something on this show, if you don't like MMA, don't listen to the MMA shows. All right? If you don't like pro wrestling, don't listen to the pro wrestling shows.
If you don't like me, don't listen to my shows.
If you don't like Vince, don't listen to the shows that Vince is on. If you don't like Brent, don't listen to the shows that Brent's on. If you
I don't like Brent.
Please put your hand down
All right.
immediately. If you just don't like something, just go out of your way to not subject yourself to it. That's how it is. Because you know what? The world of wrestling is a wide, wide world. And I have a lot of different interests in this world. I'm interested in MMA. I'm interested in pro wrestling. Sometimes I'm interested in Japan when anything of any value is going on. Sometimes when something exciting is happening in Ring of Honor, I cover it. If Necro fucking Butcher had something exciting happen, yes, I'd talk about that. But you know what? 99 times out of 100, he doesn't do jack shit that I have any interest in whatsoever. So that's the way things are going to go. I have a finite amount of time in my life. I have a finite amount of time on this show. And I'm going to cover everything to the best of my ability, and I'm not going to be able to please everyone. I just can't. So if you're unhappy with certain things, I'm sorry. And you know what? If you're happy with everything, I'm very happy for you. But if you're listening to this and you're actually happy with every single thing on this website, something's probably wrong with you. Because that's just weird. Because everything that we watched this week, I wasn't happy with everything. There was some stuff that I just didn't like. And I cannot bring myself to not watch it because I feel it is important to watch everything so that I can have perspective about everything. So I'm gonna fucking watch everything. I'm gonna fucking cover everything. And when we have a fucking week like this where there's 74 fucking shows, I'm gonna complain about it. And if you don't like it, shut the goddamn show off.
Yeah.
Here's your fucking promo for the night, kids. I think we need a happy song to...
Just out of curiosity, were I to bang the table in anger, would you get mad at me?
Yeah. How's it going, everybody? Brian Alvarez here on Monday, June 19th,
Shut up and turn
here on Figure 4 Daily at 4wonline.com. We have got a replacement guest today, and as many people on the board noted, who would be a better replacement for Bill Goldberg than the Zombie? Who are some of your influences growing up? Okay. Which guys helped you learn the European style? I know you worked a little bit with Doug Williams. Anybody else? Wow. Who was the first guy that you got into the ring with and you were like, you couldn't believe you were in the ring with him? That's good. Well, we're pretty much out of time today. I want to thank you very much for doing the show, and I want to thank everybody for listening. We'll be back on tomorrow talking more Lucha with Steve Sims, and I will talk to everybody then. I don't like the zombie drops.
Oh, dude, that's my ear. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Could I get your email address? Maybe we can email each other. Oh,
I fucking hate you. God, you're a bitch.
Oh, God.
You are, okay. Now I know what the effect Melina has on you. Now I understand.
I'm in a good mood tonight. I've got a little bit of,
absolute fucking bullshit.
got a little anger out of me and everything like that. How you feeling, Vince? That put you on edge?
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Let's say Vince lives to be 150 years old.
Well, he's not going to.
Captain Obvious is the name of that drop.
I'd heard people talking about that, but I had not heard it myself until there. Dave is so awesome.
He really is.
It's not a hint of irony.
No, none.
Politely letting you know that Vince McMahon is not, in fact, going to live to be 150 years old.
I think that if somebody just wanted one drop, just let's say that Dave won the lotto and he just gave everything up and just ran off to an island and he was never seen again, and the news people came to my house and they just wanted a quick news bite. Who was Dave Meltzer? I just played this drop. Here's a question for you. Let's say Vince lives to be 150 years old.
Well, he's not going to.
That's it. That explains Dave Meltzer. He's always on, and he's always thinking about wrestling. I got a commercial here today, kids.
This commercial's awesome.
This is actually a commercial. Here we go.
Hi, Brian's friend Vince here. If you're a geek like me and live in the southeastern United States, you're probably going to the big Heroes Con comic book show this weekend in Charlotte. If you're there to see Warren Ellis, George Perez, Greg Rucka, or Los Hernandez brothers, why not stop by the Odessa Steps magazine booth in Indy Island and say hello to the crew there? At the booth, be sure to grab a free convention version newsletter edition of the magazine, containing a mostly wrestling-free interview with Vince's friend Bryan, figure for Empire's El Presidente. Thanks. Bye.
It was hard to read the things on the right-hand side of Brian's screen.
Vince, you know, I have never been trained to do voiceovers, but as you're aware, I had a voiceover gig last week, and I thought it was common sense when you're going to read a voiceover to at least read it through one time first.
I did.
No, you didn't. I put that thing on the screen, you looked at it for about 5 seconds, and you went, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, okay.
And if you listen to this...
I read it like 2 days ago when he emailed it to me.
Oh, he actually emailed it to you?
Yeah.
All right, you get somewhat of a reprieve since you read it in advance, but... I don't know how much Mark Cole paid for this commercial, but he's going to get it again because I want everybody to listen to this one more time. This is Vince's fantastic reading
I'll shut up this
of
time.
a very simple commercial.
Hi, Brian's friend Vince here. If you're a geek like me and live in the southeastern United States, you're probably going to the big Heroes Con comic book show this weekend in Charlotte. If you're there to see Warren Ellis, George Perez, Greg Rucka, or Los Hernandez brothers, why not stop by the Odessa Steps magazine booth in Indy Island and say hello to the crew there? At the booth, be sure to grab a free convention version newsletter edition of the magazine, containing a mostly wrestling-free interview with Vince's friend Bryan, figure for Empire's El Presidente. Thanks. Bye.
That was fine. That was just fine.
I would play it one more time.
I'm not in USA!
Good job, Vince. That was actually much better.
That was just fine. That was what Odessa Steps wanted.
God, for $10, kids, you can have that kind of quality in your commercial here.
By the way, how many of those dollars do I get?
God, after that, you should probably send him some money.
Yeah, fuck that. Seriously, how many of those dollars do I get?
We'll
I did
see.
You hit one button.
We shall see. And it went to the masses. Vince, it took you 30 seconds to record that.
It took you 30 seconds to sit there and listen to it.
You know you'll get a payoff for it. Just shut the fuck up.
I should get all $10.
Listen, I don't want any complaining out of you because how many years did you wrestle?
Many.
Okay,
5.
and I have paid you
significantly more for the show.
Infinitely more than you ever made as a wrestler getting beat up by Tim Flowers.
And I regret wrestling. I regret the show.
But the point is, I want everyone to know that I have paid you far more than any wrestling promoter ever did out of the kindness of my heart.
Kindness?
It is.
No. Kindness would be giving me money. I don't have to come here and do the shows.
Well, you have a downside guarantee. So technically, if you did end up in the hospital for an entire month and could not do the show, first off, I would try and get you to do the show.
Yes.
Even if you were in an iron lung, I'd have someone hold the phone up to the ventilator.
I would have
just so we could make drops out of it.
If I had a tracheotomy, I had hold the machine in my throat like Kane did back in the day.
Undoubtedly, I would have you try and do the show.
And frankly, the quality would skyrocket. Because voice boxes are funny.
You'd probably do a better commercial too, actually. But I guess it would depend on what the product was for. But anyway, if you were in the hospital for 1 month, you would certainly get a downside guarantee. I feel I'm sort of, I can't even say it.
You were going to say generous, weren't you?
No, I was going to say Vince McMahon. You know, I take care of my talent with downside guarantees in case of emergencies. So then Vince McMahon's music played, and out came Hunter, dressed as Vince McMahon. Hunter watches a lot of Vince McMahon. He did a fantastic job.
He really did.
The mannerisms were awesome. Obviously, he's got his Hunter voice that he can't do impressions, which you know if you ever saw the WrestleMania commercial where you're supposed to be Braveheart, and he had 14 accents in a 15-second period.
Yes.
But he tried, and Vince does have certain trademark phrases. When he said "quite frankly," that's when I lost it. It's every Vince McMahon promo ever, and he got that one in there.
He was out there doing his Vince impression, and people were not laughing as hard as I thought they would be, and then it occurred to me, I think they think that's Vince. I think they think Vince McMahon's in the ring. His voice was not perfect, but his mannerisms were all awesome. And then when he got to the key phrases, like the quite frankly, the "you're fired" was the big one, where he growled out "you're fired," and he just stopped and take a breath and go some more. That was the best part. Finally, he was interrupted.
Shawn Michaels came out dressed as Shane McMahon. I like that long, awkward moment of silence that we had there for a moment.
We haven't had one of those for a while.
I think I was waiting for you to make your comment and a laugh track would play, but I don't have one. I guess I was just expecting one to just play in my earphones to help the show out. Instead, it was just me sitting in silence and you waiting for a laugh that never came.
You know, we should have a canned laughter. That'd be awesome.
Tonight, I kill you.
Is that close enough?
Why, no.
Actually, you know what? We do have a laugh track here. Let's try it again. Tell your joke one more time about how Hunter did the catchphrase.
What did I say? Oh, you're fired. Hunter did the "you're fired" thing, and he looked at the camera and he scowled up his face and he said, "You're fired." Yeah.
I had to make sure there was an awkward moment.
That's quality radio, folks. For those of you not paying attention, what just happened there where I made a joke and then Bryan hit the laugh button? That was funny. You know, I'm in a good mood now. I need a laugh track. I need one in my daily life. Just carry around with me. Oh, okay, that's very terrifying. Stop that immediately.
Oh no, that was a good joke, Vince.
No, that's.
Wow. Anyway, Shawn came out and he did Shane McMahon's dance. It was funny, and he just kept dancing. I think he overshot his target with the dance.
No, hell no. No, I disagree vehemently. I think as much as we just praise Hunter for being Vince, I think Shawn did not do so much an impression of Shane McMahon as, I don't know how to put it, he did a cartoon character loosely based on Shane McMahon.
Yes.
And I don't know what he was doing, but it was awesome.
Yes, we have a different, we clearly do not have the same sense of humor.
Well, fuck no.
It is similar in certain respects, but I thought, you dance around for a while, you keep dancing, and then pretty soon you're dancing too much, and then pretty soon you just keep dancing. And it didn't get quite to the point where it was bad for so long that it got funny again. It was just, I think, too much dancing.
Just explain. Who did I read was discussing that theory of comedy? Mike Myers. He talks about that
Austin Powers.
In Austin Powers. There's many jokes in Austin Powers where it starts out funny, then it's not funny, then it's very funny, then it's not funny and you're angry, then it's hysterical, and it just keeps oscillating like back and forth to a greater extreme both times.
Well, he didn't get back to the great extreme that time.
Ah, shit.
He was still down there with the, now it was just too much. Did get funny at least when he took the bump and this was good. This was a legendary segment, actually, I think you said. I don't know if I'd quite go that far, but Hunter, this was one of the great impersonations we've seen in this business. And then Vince and the Spirit Squad came out, and to put this in as tasteful a manner as possible, a substance fell from the ceiling. The crowd chanted, "Holy shit," and Hunter said, "Yes, indeed. Shawn is part of DX now. It is, in fact, holy shit." And that was the big gag. Everybody laughed. Jim Ross actually got the term fecal matter on the air.
Mm-hmm.
He did, in fact, get this on the air. And that was when it went from the best segment I ever saw to the worst, all in one fell swoop.
Yes. One giant dump, you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, laugh track.
I wonder if I can keep doing this one until it gets past annoying to the point of hilarious again.
The problem with that is when you hit over and over again like that, it becomes not funny and it becomes actually very, very scary. See? You have the willies right now. I know you have the willies right now.
Well, this crap is unsellable!
That sounds like Lex Luger. Does it not?
Not really.
What kind of disgusting, despicable...
I love that.
And your t-shirts are too tight too, Billy!
I want everyone to hear this whole interview. If you've never heard it, it's on YouTube. You can actually see the video, which is even better. But this is Lex Luger cutting the greatest promo of his life.
Mr. Luger, I saw what just happened out there with Ron Killens. I just want to ask you, I mean, what are your plans for the next show, Super Brawl Saturday? I mean, are you going to take care of Ron Killens?
What kind of disgusting, despicable lack of respect is that Billy What's-His-Name show booking a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl? Super Saturday? What is it? I don't even know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday? Can he afford to pay me to wrestle Ron? I don't know. I'm one of the biggest legends and stars ever in this. God! And your t-shirts are too tight too, Billy! And you book a match with me against Ron Killens? Look at me! I'm a total package. I will rip him apart. I'm pissed now.
I don't think I'd...
Oh, God, I love it. I watched that so many times when I first saw it.
I think everyone listening to this already knows, but there's an ESPN columnist named Bill Simmons who put up his YouTube Hall of Fame, and as he said, half of all the funniest moments ever came from pro wrestling, and that was one of them. That clip, he commanded everyone to go watch it.
God damn, that's
the part where you can't tear the t-shirt off and screams, and your t-shirts are too tight, too.
And your t-shirts are too tight, Billy.
Billy.
That is classic.
And your t-shirts are too tight, too, Billy!
Kids, let's get on to the shout-outs today. Monster Heel. First off, I would just like to say that the Necro Butcher is the greatest wrestler alive and to ever live. There's no disputing this. Second of all, I'd like to say, fuck the Redskins, the Eagles, and the Giants. In fact, fuck everybody in the NFL except the Dallas Cowboys. Third of all, fuck MMA. Although now that I've started to watch The Ultimate Fighter a little bit, it's not so bad. F. Dave Meltzer. Wow. F. Dave Meltzer up his fast-talking, ADD having ass. Fuck the Redskins very much for good measure. That's from Monster Heel.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what's funny about Monster Heel and a lot of other guys? It's like, they hate it because they don't watch it. That's the key.
MMA?
Yeah, or anything. Anything. I hate Mexican wrestling. Show them a little luch and they're like, hey, this is cool. Monster Heel, I hate that fucking MMA. And then we have Quentin Jackson on and he's like, that was a great interview.
That was a great show, yeah.
And now he started to watch Ultimate Fighter, so all of a sudden he's like, wow, MMA's pretty cool. So, nothing I haven't heard before, but...
prejudice running rampant.
That's right. Monster Heel, you prejudging heel.
Guy.
I can't bury him too much. He got a shout-out.
Made a donation.